daylight, so cold, sleep is nice. So tired, my eyes fight, they just wanna close back up tight. Get up, hoodie on, hard work at the crack of dawn. This life ain't for the weak ones, no, this life pure only for the strong. Feeling slow, shake it off, don't got time for negative thoughts. Red sight, got the dot, shoot my shot, I want the top. Never lost, got my plot, know my story, I know my boss. I will fight against the clock, time's a limited gift from God. One day I will have my victory, crush all my enemies so viciously. Work so hard my hands are blistering, and they will carve my name in history.
What is up, everybody? Nick Fiore, FioriousNation, Adam Carl, next to me on my right, the co-host for Forbidden Podcast, and we are at episode 15. Listen to that groovy music intro, though my own intro should be coming up within the next month or two. That's in the works, but I can't believe we're on episode 15 of Forbidden Podcast, bro.
A wild run.
Absolutely, man.
There's the 15,000 more.
Well, we're definitely at 15, so it's episode 15 here on March 5th, 2026. It's a Thursday. So man, oh man, 15 episodes, man. Can't believe it, but proud and no regrets, and can't believe we're at 15, and there's a bunch more on the way. So this is not the end, but Adam Carl, bro, how you doing, man? On this fine Thursday, March 5th.
It's only just the beginning.
Oh yeah. We got coming out of the Elimination Chamber, talking about the Chamber PLE, our thoughts on that, talking about here and on today's show. Finally on the road to WrestleMania with 7 weeks to go. Bunch of rumors coming out of the Chamber. We got Revolution coming up next weekend, on the weekend of March 14th. I think was it like March 15th, the pay-per-view, but I know where I'll be the night before, ACW Aftershock in Poughkeepsie, New York, March 14th. So episode 16 will be next week on Thursday, March the 12th, because of that. And test run the Thursday episodes, but the views with last week almost close to the Saturday one. So I appreciate the love and support with last week and continued support in doing so. But we got Revolution coming up the weekend on March 14th to March 15th, going into St. Patty's Day. We got NXT Vengeance Day coming up this Saturday at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Talking about, we got a bunch of shit rumors coming out of the Chamber, what could be regarding WrestleMania implications and stuff like that. We got so much to talk about with Raw, which I thought was honestly, compared to last week and the Elimination Chamber, Raw this past Monday, my take, I thought it was a pretty good show. There was some good talking points. Penta, new Intercontinental Champion, Roman Reigns and CM Punk promo. We're definitely talking about that here on this episode. We got the Vision and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is back. Could Braun Breaker be back? What do we think Seth Rollins' direction could be for Mania? What's rumored or reported to be? Gunther's WrestleMania opponent, who it could be, down to top 3 candidates. We're talking about that. We're talking about a little bit of NXT. Not much happened on Tuesday, NXT this past week, except maybe like Sol Ruka, Zarya, JC Jane, and that stuff. Joe Hendry and Ricky Saints, and yada, yada, yada. SmackDown, not much from this past Friday, which was the go-home show. Not really a whole lot happened Friday, in my opinion, this past Friday. The go-home show for the Chamber, outside of Lash Legend, Nia Jax winning the tag team titles, and then the opening segment. But, I mean, not bad, but it's like, it's still not where it needs to be. But it was the go-home show. Like, they didn't need to do, it's like they don't usually do much of these go-home shows, usually, in my opinion. But, they don't usually do much for the go-home shows when they go into a WWE. PLE does WWE, but we'll talk a little bit on that. And then Dynamite, we're definitely talking about from last night. And I'll be completely honest with you guys. I did not even watch Dynamite last night, but looking at the reaction from last night Dynamite, it looked like I did not miss a goddamn thing. But
You missed.
go ahead.
Yeah. If you didn't watch a single minute of the show, you missed now.
Tell this guy where he's telling lies here. But what I will say is hit the like on the video. It would help in the YouTube algorithm and the channel, so go do that. Subscribe to Furious Nation, especially if you're a newbie watching this. So subscribe to Furious Nation if you have not done so already, if you're especially new watching this. And hit the bell for all notifications when these guys come on live, at least this guy comes on here live for Forbidden Podcast hosted by yours truly. So go make sure you go do that. Follow me at Fiorinic579 over on X, Adam Carl at Adam Carl 2005 on X. Facebook Nicholas Fury 31. Instagram Nicholas Fury 2014 and TikTok at FioriousNation. It would help a lot in the algorithm and it helps the channel as well. So make sure you guys go do that. And I appreciate every one of you for being on here. And I love every single one of you. So I got to say to all you guys, from me to you, thank you. Deep down, thank you. And episode 15, and proud what we've got so far and many more to come. So this is only the beginning of this heck of a wild ride. And I'm sure this guy could concur as well. Next to me on my right. So we might as well start the show off. Usually we don't do these for Forbidden Podcast, starting off the show with the highlights from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Dynamite. Might as well start with SmackDown a little bit. This past Friday, there was the go-home show for the Elimination Chamber. They were in Lexington, Kentucky. Not really a whole lot happened, in my opinion, on the show outside of the opening segment, and then the women's tag team title match. We got new women's tag team champions in Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Now, I'm not high on Lash and Nia, especially Lash, for not being ready yet for the main roster. However, I will say this, and I will give credit where credit's due. Lash looked pretty good on Friday, and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley lost the tag titles to Lash and Nia on SmackDown this past Friday, the night before the Elimination Chamber. Their first match of the women's tag titles were ended in a draw. That match was not good. That match was not good at all. This match was better than their first. And Lash Legend got the pin by pinning Rhea Ripley off the Lash extension. That's Lash Legend's finisher. It looked pretty good, by the way. And she pinned Rhea to win the titles. And we got new tag team champions. And I would say it's the right move, because I don't think, because especially coming out of last year with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky and that really good triple threat for the women's world title at Mania last year against Bianca Belair on night 1 of WrestleMania a year ago in Vegas. Like, you're not going to go from that a year ago to them having Rhea and Io, that is, go from that last year to this year being in tag team title vortex. Like, you're not going to do that to Rhea and Io. That's just absolutely ridiculous and just criminal. So I'm glad they lost the titles here. And now, and if the Bellas are going to win the titles, which I hope to God not, at least them beating Lash and Nia isn't as offensive. I still don't like the Bellas as champions, but at least it's not as offensive with them beating Lash and Nia than it is them beating Rhea and Io. And nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see the Bellas versus Rhea and Io at WrestleMania. So, and Rhea and Io should be in something a lot bigger and better for WrestleMania, especially that match of the year candidate they had with Bianca at last year's Mania. So I'm glad Lash and Nia won the titles here, and that is the right move. And then the opening segment with Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, and Javon Evans, Trick Williams. That was a really good opener. Orton and Cody teased something, and speaking of whom, we'll talk about that here in the show. Trick Williams was over as fuck in the segment. LA Knight got a nice pop. We got Jey Uso taken out at the beginning of the show, Yeet Man. Now, with Raw, not this past Monday, but the Raw where AJ Styles was inducted in the Hall of Fame, that worst Raw of this year, by the way. That specific Raw episode last week, there was a Elimination Chamber qualifier, last men's chamber qualifying match with Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso versus El Grande Americano. Gracias, the Gable Americano, that is. And apparently Bronson Reed was supposed to win and qualify, but Bronson Reed unfortunately got hurt and he had to undergo surgery, which he actually did, and it was successful. But unfortunately, he's out for 4 to 6 months. He injured his bicep off of breaking up the pin when Americano hit Jey Uso off a flying headbutt, which I still don't know why we're still doing this move in wrestling in 2026, by the way. And Bronson Reed went to go break up the pin, and he injured his bicep pretty bad. And then they had to call it audible, have Jey Uso win when Bronson was really supposed to win. So Jey Uso wins, and then they found a way to write Jey Uso out of the match. So fortunately, we did not have to worry about running it back in the Elimination Chamber. Thank goodness.
That's disappointing, bro. Come on now, bro. We wanted to see him run it back, bro, and humping the chain.
Oh, geez. I mean, him doing it in the Rumble was ridiculous. And then War Games. Imagine him running it back in the fucking Chamber. I'm so glad we didn't get that, the Chamber. Thank God. But they wrote Jey Uso out of the Chamber on SmackDown Friday. He was taken out. Then he was put in the ambulance. Jacob Fatu's checking on him, stuff like that. And then SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis announced a last chance match. Logan Paul versus Jacob Fatu in a Chamber qualifier for Jey Uso's spot, and Logan Paul ended up winning, even with a masked man interfering, and it was a decoy. And those thought when the guy was unmasked and no one knew who the hell it was, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is the masked man. Oh, a disappointment. Oh, I expect to be Seth Rollins," but it was all Seth Rollins still all along. It was just a decoy. It is a student from Seth Rollins' wrestling school, Black and Brave from Iowa State. So it was Seth Rollins playing mind games. So it was Seth was going to be revealed as the real masked man the whole time. But even despite those shenanigans, Logan Paul still qualified thanks to Drew McIntyre hitting Jacob Fatu in the head with the title, the WWE title belt, that is, and Logan Paul rolled him up, and Logan Paul qualified and stuff like that. But that was SmackDown this past Friday. Not really a whole lot happened. It wasn't the worst episode, but they started off hot. It wasn't the worst, but it was just boring, don't you think? I thought it was just boring, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, all this was, honestly, they were just scrolling through to build to the Chamber.
It was kind of like they were limping into the Chamber.
Yeah, they were just scrolling through because they wanted to get to the Chamber right away.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was SmackDown this past Friday. Then speaking of the Chamber, they were at the United Center in Chicago. I got to be honest with you. I have to be, or else I'm not doing things right. And same thing with this guy.
Yeah.
Last year's Chamber was one of the best shows last year. Last year's Chamber, that was. This year's Chamber did not come close. It wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a good show. If you ask me, it was average at best. It was average.
It was mid.
Yeah, very mid. 4 matches and the crate reveal, which was revealed to be Danhausen, by the way, from AEW / Ring of Honor. They take off the thing off the crate, from the front of the crate. All these like face painted people come out. These whatever they were, like ladies or people, but they come out, and Danhausen's in the middle, and it's Danhausen, and he actually got booed in Chicago. Ouch.
Poor bastard.
Kind of feel bad for him. It's not his fault, but I mean, look, I'll be honest. Like, is he going to sell a lot of good merch? Yes, but I don't think he's going to really do much of anything for the company as far as like an interest goes. He's just going to be like another R-Truth, in my opinion.
That's honestly probably why
I don't know how you feel, but that's just how I feel about it. No disrespect to Danhausen, may be a nice guy, but I don't think he's going to move much in WWE. I don't. He's just going to be like R-Truth, doing the job and just being comedic segments here and there. He's literally going to be like a 2.0 R-Truth.
That's honestly what his role is going to be, for real. Like for Danhausen, I kind of feel sorry, but this is the problem that this company have put themselves into, because you set up this mystery crate, Even though we already had another mystery angle going with the Mask Man.
Yeah, they love their mysteries.
Yeah. So you do this mystery crate. You build it up for weeks and weeks and weeks. And everybody expects it to be a big name, even though we already know that it wasn't going to be, Jericho, for example.
Yeah, because Chris Jericho's AEW contract was apparently frozen, so that was out of the equation right then and there.
Yes, but you build up this mystery crate and you reveal. You blatantly say that it's gonna get who's gonna get revealed in the Elimination Chamber. So right out of the gate, you're basically saying that this should be a big deal. And then ultimately, the guy in the crate, it doesn't turn out to even be a main eventer. It turns out to be somebody that basically who's known to be a comedy goofball, comic relief guy.
And he was a comedy goof in Ring of Honor, and he was a comedy goof even in his time in AEW was Danhausen. Now, he's good friends with CM Punk. I get it. Now, could this be a CM Punk move? Could CM Punk have some influence in this? Probably, because CM Punk is friends with him, apparently.
Yeah.
But again, is Danhausen going to really make a difference? No.
No.
He's not going to make a difference to them whatsoever.
I think, like you said, it's like you said, he's going to be just another R-Truth. Honestly, that's probably the reason why, because R-Truth is not going to get any younger. He's not getting any younger. He's approaching the end of his career, so they probably need a replacement for him in terms of being, who's going to be, the comic relief guy who makes people laugh.
Yeah.
Danhausen is a younger guy out of the two. I think I searched his age. He's 35 years old.
Which is not old.
Yeah. I mean, R-Truth, that same age. R-Truth, he came back to the company in 2008. I believe he was also 35. And he's lasted over 20 years. So, you could get, at the very least, 10 years out of Danhausen.
Probably.
And he can sell them a lot of merch and make them money. Because that's honestly what he was for at AEW anyway. He was basically brought in just for merch. They did make merch money out of him.
Yeah, he's obviously going to sell a lot of merch with his face paint and his t-shirts and stuff and the cursed thing that he does. He may be a funny guy, but he's not someone that's going to be winning titles, and he'll basically be doing the job for upcoming talent, getting called up to the main roster on Raw or SmackDown. He'll be on main event doing the jobs for like NXT. People that wrestle on main event, that main roster could get a look at that. They may want to bring and have plans for on the main roster on Raw or SmackDown. It's basically what it boils down to for Danhausen. He's not a guy that they're going to push. I can tell you that. He's not a guy that they're going to push like a Javon Evans or a Trick Williams or someone like on the indies from AEW that WWE wants to bring in, not like an MJF or a Will Ospreay or a Ricky Saints or Ethan Page. Danhausen's not going to be one of those guys that they're really going to seriously push in like the mid-card or main event. They're not going to do that with Danhausen. He's just going to be a comedic skit guy, and he's just going to do the job and put others over that are on the way up on the card. That's all he's going to be doing. Is Danhausen. That's all he'll do.
Even in AEW, the guy barely wrestled. He had matches, but it's like every match he had, he was staring up at the lights.
Exactly. And the other thing I don't get, bro, this is another thing I don't get. You have this mystery crate thing as well. A few weeks before the Elimination Chamber, correct? You catch my drift? You have this crate. A few weeks before the Elimination Chamber PLE in Chicago. And it's like if Danhausen was in the crate, say if he was in the crate for a few weeks going into the chamber, and no holes poked in the crate for at least for him to breathe in there. Can someone please explain to me, how do you know how ridiculous it looks and sounds? You have a person, you mean to tell me a person's been in the crate all this time for a few weeks going into the chamber? You mean to tell me that, you know what I'm getting at? You know how dumb it sounds?
Yeah.
Or am I just losing my mind here? I know I'm not crazy sounding this. I know I can't be wrong whatsoever on this. You have this guy in a fucking crate for a few weeks' time, and it looks ridiculous. A person's been in the crate all this time, and then he's revealed, it would make. I mean, it would be a different story if like another clue or an object was in there, but an actual person and Danhausen in his crate for a few weeks going into the chamber. Do you know how just fucking just ridiculous that sounds? Or am I just losing my damn mind?
So you have this. So let me get this. You have this guy who no, I don't want to make this about size thing, but you have Danhausen. Like Danhausen isn't particularly a big guy, not in terms of weight or height. So you have this Danhausen. Who's not necessarily a big guy. He's in this crate for weeks. You mean to tell me that this guy wasn't struggling in storyline terms? He wasn't, in danger of something bad happening to him. He wasn't, barely breathing or he wasn't screaming for help. He
no
just,
light,
just stood there.
All dark in the box.
Yeah, like open the box, help me. Like he just stood there for weeks inside the crate and he was just fine.
It just looks so unbelievable.
Like
it looks so unbelievable, bro. It looks ridiculous.
I would understand silly. I would understand it if it was, let's say, a Royce Keyes in that crate. Royce Keyes is like he's big, he's tall.
Yeah,
maybe he can take it. But Danhausen, just look at compare Royce Keyes and Danhausen from a believability standpoint. Who would survive the crate?
Definitely not Danhausen, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But the whole crate thing was ridiculous going into the chamber, and people were setting themselves up for disappointment at the end of the day. Now, and people were expecting Chris Jericho. Now, do I expect Chris Jericho back in WWE still? Yes, I do. But with the crate thing, maybe it was best he wasn't in the crate. And honestly, Jericho, I do still think he comes back to WWE, but it's going to be an even bigger and better way. I do still think he comes back, but not in this way. Yeah. And it depends how long his AEW contract's frozen for. Hopefully not for long, but we'll see on that. But if Jericho's coming back to WWE, which I think he will still, it won't be in this fashion. I can tell you that.
Yeah, probably he's gonna have a much better debut than being in the crate.
Maybe returns at Mania, the Raw after Mania, or maybe going into SummerSlam. I do still think he comes back, though, in my opinion. Yeah, I do still think.
And honestly, even if he was available,
maybe it was for the best that he wasn't in the crate.
Yeah, and honestly, even if he was available, let's say Tony didn't freeze his contract. Like even if he was available now, it would be so dumb to just have to reveal Jericho in the fucking crate. Like this is how you bring him back after nearly 10 years away.
And if he comes back, you want his return to be a big deal. And Jericho's one of those guys that wants things to be a big deal and have it mean something as well. He's not the guy that's just like, oh, let's do this. No, like, if I'm going to come back, it's got to be impactful. It's got to be memorable.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy that Chris Jericho is. Jericho returning from via a crate is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. So maybe it's for the better that Jericho wasn't in the crate, because if he is coming back, then it's gonna mean a lot more than just a fucking crate. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
But Danhausen was revealed from the crate. He actually got booed in Chicago, and there was a report. It was something about unanimous, not unanimous, but I've read something that if I can find the report, apparently it was met with some people liked it, some people were against it. Like in the creative boardroom meeting, the whole creative boardroom needs a complete overhaul. Like the fucking rats that were from the Vince team that ran the main roster, anybody that ran the main roster from the Vince administration, they need to go. Just a bunch of fucking rats, like Adam Carl said. Just nothing but rats in there. But some people in creative in the WWE were like for the idea, some others against it. Some people were comparing him to the Gobbledygookler as well.
The Gobbledygooker?
Yeah, Gobbledygooker, yes.
I mean, here's the thing with this. As bad as like, Danhausen reveal is, like, at least this was like a mid-card skit. at the very least. Like, we didn't have like some big names interacting with the crate.
Yeah. Gobbledygookler was a very small ceiling.
Yeah, the Gobbledygook, they built an
Back in the
entire
90s,
Survivor
by the
Series.
way.
They built an entire pay-per-view around the Gobbledygooker. And this is true, by the way. Undertaker, he was terrified that it could be him revealed as the Gobbledygooker.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Mark Calloway, he had shivers down his spine that it could be him as the Gobbledygooker before thankfully Vince McMahon came up with the Undertaker gimmick, and he gave it to Mark Calloway, and the rest
was history with the Undertaker.
Yeah, the Gobbledygooker ended up being Hector Guerrero underneath it,
who's
Hector
related
Guerrero,
to Eddie, by the way.
Hector, obviously brother of Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul.
Yep.
Yeah.
But people comparing with this Danhausen thing to the Gobbledygookler, would you think this is worse than the Gookler, in your opinion?
No. Like at least with Danhausen, at least. Like it was a mid-card thing. Like we didn't who interacted with this great? What, Johnny Gargano? Fraxium? Candice LeRae? These guys and girls?
Yeah.
Like,
Johnny Gargano just playing like
interacted with this thing. They built an entire Survivor Series pay-per-view. They built an entire Big Four pay-per-view around a fucking giant egg. This was like the main attraction of that pay-per-view, and it ended up being a silly character.
Remember Vince McMahon's storyline in November 2021? The egg.
Yeah, the golden egg.
The egg. Find the egg. And Austin Theory found it. It was so bad.
Awful.
It was so fucking bad, bro. Yet there are idiots out there that want Triple H removed and fired and replaced with Vince McMahon, and chanting, "We want Vince, we want Vince." Believe me, there are idiots that want Vince back. And anyone that wants Vince back, like, please, you should be nowhere near watching pro wrestling. Honestly, like, you really want Vince back. Yeah, Triple H just played it safe the past year. However, I would take him over Vince 7 days of the fucking week. You really people's probably those who want Vince back probably seem to forget how bad WWE was in 2019 and even in 2018, the year before, in 2020 and 2021. People seem to forget those bad years at WWE, even during the Thunderdome era. So it's like, you really sure you want Vince McMahon back? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, like with this golden egg thing, they have these wrestlers. They have these wrestlers basically chasing a fucking egg, make themselves look like the biggest geeks in the world.
Terrible.
Maybe only for it to be revealed to be fucking Austin Theory.
A newcomer that was called up from NXT to Monday Night Raw at the time, just getting started on the main roster.
Yeah,
he had a selfie gimmick.
Vince McMahon is so angry. Yeah, he was angry that his egg was stolen. Who stole my egg? He was so angry.
Find the egg, damn it.
Yeah. He wants the roster.
Find my egg, pal.
Yeah, he wants the roster to basically catch the intruder, the thief. Then it was Sami Zayn who, during his heel phase, he catches the thief. It was Austin Theory, only for the thief to get rewarded with a WWE Championship match.
So fucking bad, bro.
Yeah, what a great way of making an entire roster look like a bunch of imbeciles. By rewarding the fucking thief who stole his egg.
A bunch of clowns, man.
Yeah, but let's move
fucking
on
god awful, man. I'm so glad Vince McMahon's not there anymore. It's not perfect under Triple H, but it's a lot better under. But is it a lot better? But is it better under him than with Vince? Yes. Does he have his flaws? Yes. Could he be better? Yes. But to say that, to fire him and get rid of him and replace him with Vince, that's just not even an opinion anymore. That's just blatant stupidity at that point.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But with Danhausen, with the reveal, it should not they should have had built an entire storyline around him, and make it a big deal. But with Danhausen, I think he could do well. I wish him nothing but the best in WWE. I think he will sell a lot of merch. And in terms of in-ring, he's not the best wrestler.
No, far from it, dude.
I don't see him wrestling that many matches, but if he does wrestle, he usually be the guy that puts others over. But in terms of character, I think he can get over. I think that's his whole appeal, is that he he does the point and he curses people. I think that's his whole appeal.
I mean, he cursed Dominic Mysterio on Monday. Believe me, he did. Well, and we'll get to that. He actually was in a backstage segment on Raw this past Monday. He was actually better there than on the Chamber. Why wasn't this at the Chamber? What they did on Monday was a lot better with him.
That's what's gonna get him over. It's his character.
When he was backstage with Adam Pearce and giving him demands and cursing Dominic, and he actually made Finn Balor break character. Balor was trying not to laugh. You could tell.
So fun.
But we'll get to that, believe me. But yeah, the Chamber, but then they had the Chamber, the Danhausen. You had Rhea Ripley win the Women's Elimination Chamber. She last eliminated Tiffany Stratton in the match to win the Women's Chamber, did Rhea Ripley, one night after losing the women's tag titles with Io Sky. Kiana James was the MVP of the Chamber, just like in the Rumble. In terms of dominant performance, was Raquel Rodriguez, eliminating 2 people, and at the same time eliminating, it was Asuka and then Kiana James. So Raquel, and Raquel's come a long way anyway, and she had a dominant performance in the Chamber. And I would say at some point you gotta reward her, man, because she's been killing it, especially in the Judgment Day. And then
this is the best run of her career.
Oh yeah. At first, when she was in the Judgment Day, it's like I don't think it's gonna work. It's not gonna go anywheres. And then all of a sudden, like that, something happened and changed. And I guess the advice from Kevin Nash, she took it real personal. And look what she's doing now, and she's been killing it. Even calling herself Big Sexy, like Big Sexy Kevin Nash.
Yeah. And
for a tall, powerful woman, tall and powerful she is, she can actually wrestle. And even in their black and gold NXT days when she was there, it's like, oh, this is another Tamina Snuka, this is Tamina Snuka 2.0. But no, she proved me wrong, and she's actually a lot better than Tamina. 10,000 fucking times better than Tamina. But Raquel killed it in the Chamber. She was down to her, Rhea, and Tiffany in the Chamber. And Raquel Rodriguez was limited by Tiffany Stratton with the prettiest moonsault ever. So Raquel had a very nice performance. Raquel Rodriguez did. Kiana James, good performance in the Chamber as well. Her and Tiffany started as the first 2 to start the Chamber as well. So the Rumble, she's been doing well, Kiana James, and the same thing with the Elimination Chamber, man. If there's someone to look out for this year, we're not even much this year yet. If there's someone to really look out for to break out this year, it's Kiana James.
Yeah, ever since she came back,
and if this keeps up, if she was a women's U.S. champion this year, I would not mind it at all.
Honestly, ever since she came back, I will say, ever since they paired her up with Julia, she's stepped up her game. She's done really
at first it was like, this is like with them feuding with the Secret Harvest. It wasn't going anywhere, but they ended that, and now look at Kiana with Julia. And Julia, since the start of the year, like last year when she got called up, wasn't that good with Julia on the main roster a year ago. But since the beginning of this year, Julia on the main roster on SmackDown, I have to be honest, I got to give her credit's due. And Road Dogg sucks at his job. But if I have to give credit where credit's due with SmackDown this year since the start of the year, Julia, since the start of the year on SmackDown, has been booked consistently.
She's done really good.
Yep, she's been consistent, and so is Kiana. And Kiana's killed it as well, just like Julia, just as much. And ever since they ended the Secret Harvest and Kiana James stuff at the beginning of the year, Julia and Kiana James, I don't know what's going on, but so far recently, it's been working. It's been working, man. And Kiana James, even in her time in NXT, wasn't like, there's some people that are scared to bump but scared to get dirty. Kiana James is not scared to get dirty in that ring, and she can actually bump and can wrestle. And she's really good. Even her time in NXT, she's actually a really good wrestler. And Kiana has potential to be something on the main roster. I really believe that. She has potential. She could be something. Like I said, Kiana James easily slotting her in there as the Women's United States champion. I would not mind that at all if that's the case. And she's been killing it lately. And I can see, like, and it's like you can tell when someone cares and wants to get better and gets better every time. Kiana James is one of them. And I gotta be fair and honest, or else I'm not doing my part right. Kiana James, ever since the Royal Rumble, has been actually doing pretty well. So I got to give her credit.
Absolutely. So, I mean, who knows? I could see her winning the U.S. title soon. Never know.
She even pinned Charlotte clean in the Chamber qualifier to qualify for the Chamber. She pinned Charlotte clean as a whistle.
Yeah.
So and it's like, if you pin Charlotte Flair, one of your top women in the division, and in the company, you pin her, and especially pin her clean, like, that should tell you something about who did it with Kiana James. And I could really see her have a breakout year this year. I really could.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I hope they give her a push this year, because honestly, she deserves it. And if anything, SmackDown needs new blood.
Exactly.
So Rhea Ripley wins the Chamber. She's going to WrestleMania to wrestle Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. Got someone here in the chat, actually. Rude P5D says, hi, what's up? And then Mitch says, what's up, guys? What's up, Mitch? Shout out to Mitch, by the way. And Rude P5D, did you guys enjoy the moment when Roman Reigns attacked Brock Lesnar at MSG 2022? The steel chair and steel steps, and then finally slamming him under the steps, later stood over him with both titles. I think it was like a house show or something, I think.
Yeah, this was I think weeks before WrestleMania. There was an MSG house show in March.
Yes.
That was I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that visual of him, he's standing tall over Lesnar, holding to both of them. Yeah, that was a good visual. That was a nice angle.
Absolutely.
Fun. Yeah, another thing, I like to see them bring back more house shows.
Cody Rhodes has actually been pushing them for more house shows lately, and honestly, it could help, because with the injury bug they have going on, like, when the house shows helps because it gets like rehearsals in and potential storylines to be on WWE television. It certainly helps. I understand, like, wanting to cut a lot of them because the wrestlers being more with their families, more time off, but the house shows do really help quite a lot. And another reason TKO and Endeavor cut them was maybe because it wasn't drawing them money, and that's all they think about. But house shows do help at the end of the day.
It helps people.
And Cody Rhodes has lately been pushing for TKO and Endeavor to bring that back for WWE, which I think is the right logical move. And Cody Rhodes is saying, and he's pushing for that. I'm hoping at some point it happens, but it's like they cut a lot of them because, according to Endeavor, didn't make them much of money, which I don't agree with. But it's like the house shows do help, because look at what the injury bug is doing to them right now. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker with Seth Rollins and Liv Morgan. Sheamus is out. Xavier Woods is out. These house shows could, like, if you bring back house shows a little bit more, it would lessen this injury bug. It would be a less likely chance of someone getting hurt on television, Just my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So yeah, it's like I would like to see it back, these house shows. So, but it's like they do it like once a month now, twice a month, maybe a little extended a little bit. I understand the travel's a lot. It can be a lot, but it's like the house shows are beneficial. House shows are beneficial. Yeah, there's pros and there's cons, but it's more beneficial to have the house shows than to not have much house shows, or have little to no house shows at all.
Like, you don't need to have house shows every day. Like, you don't need to have it every single weekend or every week. You don't have to do it.
Exactly. But what they're doing right now, it's like, one or two house shows a month? That's not working out. And you see the injury bug that's occurring right now, and it's not good.
Maybe you could do 2 house shows a week.
Probably.
Maybe 2 a week. That could help.
Yeah. You could
Or
do
here's
like 2
the other
shows a week.
Or here's the
You
other
don't have
thing.
to
How about you make
overdo
main
it.
event?
You don't have to overdo it like Vince did, but
Yeah. Or here's the other. Like, how about make main event important?
yes. Yeah, main event on the WWE Network, a show that no one watches.
Yeah. How about you make main event kind of a developmental show, kind of a house show?
Something like that you could.
Yeah, like you're having Will Hobbs, you're having Royce Keyes work a main event.
And we'll get to Royce Keyes, by the way. Apparently, WWE has no plans for him, which I don't believe.
Sure. Yeah, no
I don't
plans,
believe
sure.
that at all. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I think bringing back house shows would do more good than bad for WWE. I really do, especially with the injuries that they're having right now. So,
Yeah, so
we'll see what happens on that. What?
To continue with the chamber talk.
Yes, back to the chamber talk. Rhea Ripley wins the chamber, gets Jade Cargill. I was going with Alexa Bliss because it would be more of a story. Rhea and Jade is a better match, but not much of a story, unless, and this is actually one of the main talking points of this episode. Apparently, there's real life beef with Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. And apparently Jade Cargill has a lot of heat on her in the locker room, which I absolutely believe, because Jade Cargill gets this preferential treatment and they don't put her in a position like high pressure position because they know she'd be exposed and the company protecting her. And Jade was the same way in AEW as well. But I believe the fact that she has locker room heat and stuff like that. Apparently Rhea Ripley now.
I mean,
Some people
she
are
kind
saying
of looked
this
like
is
a
the
similar
work,
way.
this is the shoe. I think everyone's being worked. Could I see Rhea and Jade not liking each other in real life? Yes, but making it into like a story. And I think everyone's just being worked here.
Like to talk about that the same way, Jade is kind of protected in a similar way that she was in AEW. Like the issue here is the problem, but the issue that I have is that Jade was in the mid card in AEW. Like they never even gave her the TBS title.
Yeah.
Like that's the only belt they gave her. She was the first ever TBS champion. She held it for a year and lost twice to Statlander. Like she was in the mid card. She didn't even challenge once for the world title.
And apparently there's heat on Jade Cargill in the women's locker room as well.
With WWE, yeah, she started out with the women's tag teams, but like she's actually been booked in main event matches, main event programs.
Now, Jade Cargill, is she a good wrestler? Absolutely not. Far from it. But apparently, like her getting heat in the locker room, which again, I believe something like Chelsea Green and Piper Niven said something online about Jade Cargill or something like that. Like Jade would just throw her weight around or like politic or something like that. Jade being all about herself in the locker room and just being selfish, not caring.
Yeah, I don't see Jade politicking. Like, how long she's been wrestling? 6 years? Like, she's not gonna politic. She's been with WWE for 3 years. Like I don't see a world where Jade Cargill will be like having this much pull in the company.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Like I don't think Jade has been wrestling for what 6 years, and three years of which has been WWE. I don't think Jade has this much power in the company where she has the right to say yes or no, or she has so much pull that she could get whatever she wants.
Now, according to PW Insider, hold on this stupid.
Now, do I believe there's heat? Probably. I think there was this one comment she made about she thinks Rhea Ripley. She speaks to creative.
Like she cries to creative or something like that for a push, which I don't think that's Rhea at all. I think that's more so Jade than it is Rhea to really like cry to management to protect her spot.
Like I don't think Jade does that. I don't think Rhea does that. Like I think Rhea, she spoke about it once on social media where she was getting harassed by fans online. She was getting harassment by fans who thinks that she sleeps her way to the top. Come on. Yes, this is social media, ladies and gentlemen, and it did affect Rhea mentally. Like at the end of the day, they're human beings. At the end of the day, with these wrestlers, they're not just wrestlers. They're human beings with real feelings. So they have boundaries and standards that some have to meet. So I don't blame Rhea for being upset. With Jade though, I could see it in a way. And no, I don't agree that what she said here. She should not have honestly said it. But I could see it in a way where Jade was trying to build a storyline out of it. She's trying to build for her WrestleMania match. She just went about it the wrong way.
Now, could they have real life heat? Yes, but I think it's all being turned into a storyline. I think. I mean, if this was AEW, they'd have a fight and issues where under WWE, any beef would get squashed. But even if they still don't like each other, they make it into a storyline.
I don't understand why Jade even had to tweet about it. I can understand why.
And
I know you want to build
WWE wrestlers when they have social media. They're usually monitored of what they tweet and how they tweet it. They're usually monitored.
Yeah, they're usually. But I think in this one
instance, like how Ricochet tweets with its current AEW wrestler Ricochet, how he tweets online and how he's just off of social media. Would you see this Ricochet under WWE? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
He has his feelings hurt.
The same thing with Dax Harwood. How he acts on social media, would you see him act this way if he was in WWE? Hell no.
Actually, his Twitter was deactivated.
I don't blame him, but social media, it's a cesspool on X, but.
But with Jade, I think this is the one instance where maybe Jade screwed up. But since there's buzz, I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it, and maybe you could build that into a storyline because, with Jade's title reign, it's been a fucking joke. Let's be real.
She's only had one defense, and it's against Jordynne Grace, and that was because Jordynne Grace carried her to a good match.
Yeah, her championship reign is a fucking joke. She's done nothing with it.
She beat Tiffany Stratton for it in Utah on November 1st, Saturday Night's Main Event a year ago, several months ago, and it's had one defense. And if you ask me, Jade Cargill, one of the worst women's champions ever. One of the worst champions in the women's division of the modern era, bar none. She has done nothing with the title, and she's not a good wrestler to begin with. And when it's all said and done, she'll go down as one of the worst wrestlers to ever hold a women's title, hands down.
Actually,
and honestly, the Jade Cargill experiment and with her as women's champion, it's failed. I'm sorry, it's failed. And I know they waited for Bianca to come back to win the Rumble or the Chamber and take it off Jade at Mania, but Bianca's not going to be back probably till the later part of the year, which sucks. Now we got and that's why we got Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill instead. I don't know about you. The Jade thing needs to fucking come to an end. I don't know how much longer fans can take with Jade. And it's say Jade Cargill retains at WrestleMania. And then we got to wait for Bianca to get back and maybe towards the later part of the year. And then by that point, the fans are going to be so sick of Jade Cargill as the women's champion. And I feel like people are getting tired of this Jade thing very fast. And they don't like Jade to start with, and Jade's not a good wrestler to begin with.
Honestly, it's not entirely Jade's fault. It
doesn't help you have not a good and strong SmackDown women's division. SmackDown women's division needs all the help they can get. So it doesn't help that you have a shafted SmackDown women's division, but also doesn't help that Jade Cargill's not putting the work herself as well.
What is even at the same time, what's Jade supposed to do? What other feud can you book with her as the champion? Bianca's not gonna come back anytime soon. Charlotte and Alexa are doing their own thing.
I mean, he could have done Charlotte or Alexa.
Yeah, but they're doing their own thing. They're not gonna challenge for the women's title in May this year. Who are you gonna book Jade against? Who? Jade versus BFAB?
No, that's not right. No. That's not even worthy for main event.
Yeah. Who are you gonna book? Jade Cargill versus Mia Yim?
Please, fuck no.
Come on, who? Chelsea Green? Please, Chelsea could be a main eventer, but she's booked as a jobber.
Now Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill face-to-face is scheduled for SmackDown tomorrow. That should be interesting, especially with this beef they have.
Yeah, it's you
turn a shoot into a story, a shoot to a worker story honestly, if they have this, because when Rhea won the Chamber, like at least Alexa Bliss, and if she had won the Chamber and not Rhea, at least Alexa and Jade have a story, and they could break up Alexa and Charlotte that way with at WrestleMania or coming out of Mania.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill don't have much of a story whatsoever, unless if you add this apparent beef with Jade and Rhea in real life. If you, like they say, adding real life incidents into a story makes a good story and draws, you know, like say for example, Edge and Lita against Matt Hardy when Lita cheated on Matt Hardy with Edge. You know, when you turn real life stuff into a story, it actually makes for good television. So if Rhea and Jade don't like each other in real life, and you have this with their story going into the women's title match in Mania, it could actually work in their favor. And I would not mind that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they'll.
This could be.
I don't know if they'll bring that up in their face-to-face tomorrow, but I hope so.
I think at least reference it. I don't know about bring it up, about bring up creative, but I think at least reference it. And Jade's title reign, you know, it could use.
And Rhea also said something about everything's handed to Jade as well. She did mention that as well.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's something for that they can use for Jade's title reign. I mean, a feud like that they could make it interesting for the first time ever.
Do you think they take the belt off Jade because this Jade thing is flopped, or do you think Jade retains and we still wait for Bianca? Because how much longer can we wait for this Jade title reign for Bianca to get back and take it off her?
It's 50-50. I don't know if I would say right now they take it off of her. I mean, maybe as they build Mania more, I could give, you know, who I think will actually win. But I think it's 50-50.
I mean, we do have 7 weeks to go till WrestleMania, too.
Yeah. What would I do instead? You know, if right now, what do I think would be the right move? I think the right move would be Rhea Ripley winning the championship.
At least she'd make the title mean something, and she can actually wrestle, too. Much better wrestler than Jade. And she'd actually make the title legit and mean something. Though you'd run into the same problem. SmackDown women's division is shit because they have a depleted roster. You really need to fix that SmackDown women's division big time. Rhea Ripley as champion is not going to be enough. You need more than that.
And maybe you could call up several women from NXT.
Soruka, JC Jane, Lola Vice,
Fatal Influence.
Yeah.
Fallon Henley.
Yeah.
And as you're building Kiana James up, as you keep building Julia up, maybe you can have them challenge Rhea Ripley. Maybe Rhea and Charlotte, Rhea and Alexa. Yeah, you can draft Io to SmackDown. You can move her to SmackDown.
You could.
And maybe that could be your SummerSlam match, Rhea versus Io for the WWE Women's title.
And then when Bianca gets back, Rhea and Bianca is one of the big matches you can do for that women's division. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
That's another big match that I would not mind to see whatsoever. So there's that as well. But when it's all said and done, bro, at the end of the day, Jade Cargill will go down as one of the worst women's champions. Jade Cargill is going to go down as one of the worst women's champions of all time. Her reign has not been good at all. One defense and held it for at least 100 days, has not done jack shit with it. So we'll see what happens, but that's the apparent beef with Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. But according to a new report with PW Insider, the recent public interactions between the two, it was not part of a scripted storyline, and it was said to be like a legit real life conflict. But again, I would say you turn real life conflict into a story, it makes for good television. So that's what I'll say. And that we'll see what they do tomorrow on SmackDown. Apparently, Rhea and Jade's supposed to come to a face-to-face tomorrow on SmackDown. Hopefully, they do something to start sparking interest for their match at Mania, because right now there's not much of a story. So I hope they know what they're doing tomorrow on SmackDown. That is. We then got the rest of the Chamber show. What else did we get on the show? AJ Lee winning the IC title off Becky
AJ
Lynch.
versus Becky.
AJ Lee won with the Black Widow, made Becky tap out after Becky went to the exposed turnbuckle that she exposed early in the match, and Jessica Carr caught her, and AJ Lee won the title. This was solid. This was not bad, honestly. The build wasn't that good for that match going into the show, but the match was solid, and AJ's first match as a singles wrestler, back as a singles wrestler for the first time in like several years. This wasn't bad.
Yeah,
but I expected
her first
AJ
singles
to win.
match in 11. Yeah, she looked great out there. You know, she hasn't lost a step. She looked good. She wasn't clunky.
No. But Becky lost the championship to AJ. Do we get this match again at WrestleMania, or do you have not much of an interest in that?
I think they do a rematch at Mania. I think they do.
I hope not. I would say, if I had the power of the pen, this is what I would do. Becky Lynch, if you pay attention to her social media stuff, mentioning Jessica Carr and the corrupt Jessica Carr screwing her all the time. If it was up to me, I would do Becky Lynch versus Jessica Carr at WrestleMania with no title involved. Then AJ Lee defends the IC title at WrestleMania against Roxanne Perez, and there's a story there because Roxanne idolizes AJ Lee.
I don't know. I mean, no hate towards Jessica. I mean, I'm sure she's a nice lady, but
she is been training though. So
you're gonna have Becky go into WrestleMania 1-on-1, and she's gonna face the referee.
Well, she has been training though. This Jessica Carr. So
I know she's wrestled before.
I wouldn't sleep on her though.
Yeah, I know she's wrestled before, but it's like she spent most of her entire WWE run as a referee. Like, you're gonna have Becky wrestle the referee. What logic does that make? I think they do a rematch somehow. I think Becky gets the IC title back at WrestleMania.
I don't know. I wouldn't sleep on Jessica Carr, but do I think they do that? Probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, the reason I say this because you've built this feud since September. You're heading into WrestleMania. You're so deep into the storyline right now. So, and you're gonna just end it at the Elimination Chamber, and Becky doesn't get her win back because she's lost at WrestlePalooza, she's lost at War Games, she lost both times. She was tapped out by AJ Lee. So, and you're gonna have her tap out again and not have her get her win back.
I don't know, unless the plan is for AJ Lee at WrestleMania defending the IC title to drop it to someone else, maybe like Roxanne Perez or maybe like Io Sky or someone like that, Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless the plan is that. And honestly, maybe I would say AJ versus someone else and drop the title to someone else and Becky versus Jessica Carr. The reason also I bring that up, Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan are wrestling at WrestleMania for the women's world title. I don't know if Liv wins the title or not. If she doesn't, Stephanie Vaquer is going to need some different heel challengers like Becky Lynch, and I think she's above the IC title at this point. Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vaquer for the women's world title could be really something good. Could be something really good. And Becky Lynch has been doing some good heel work for months or a long time now too, since over the past year. I think Becky and Stephanie would be pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, it will be really good. It'll be pretty good. I mean, it depends on the outcome. I mean, if Stephanie retains and Becky does not challenge for the IC title, I mean that could be a major feud. That could be a major story. And it gives Stephanie something different than just Judgment Day stuff.
And Stephanie Vaquer hasn't done much with the world title for a while now.
Yeah, you could have her in there against one of the company's biggest stars.
Yeah,
I mean that could be good.
And if someone could bring the best out of Stephanie Vaquer, it's Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And I think they probably have better chemistry promo-wise with Becky and Stephanie than Becky and AJ, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they have
because the Becky and AJ build was not good.
Yeah, the match was good, but the build-up, like they don't have that much chemistry in terms of mic work.
Yeah. It probably would be different with Becky and Stephanie, probably.
Maybe AJ and Roxanne. That will be.
Yeah, AJ Lee and Roxanne Perez.
AJ and Bailey.
Yeah.
Sometimes two workers. I mean, sometimes two wrestlers that are good just don't have good chemistry.
Yeah, maybe have AJ Lee and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne could win the IC title off AJ at WrestleMania, because I think AJ drops the belt at Mania unless she's staying around more. But I don't see her staying around much. I would say AJ Lee drops the women's IC title at WrestleMania to somebody else. I don't want to see AJ versus Becky again at Mania. Just my
I
opinion.
mean, they've done it before, but for up to me, it would be AJ against somebody and Becky against Jessica. But I still think we see that rematch at Mania.
I don't know.
Now
they did book for Raw next week. Was it Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Ivy Nile? It's a gauntlet match next week on Raw to determine the number one contender for the women's IC title. I don't know if they do that on WrestleMania or on a Raw going into Mania. Maybe, I don't know if they book it for the Raw in Madison Square Garden later this month. I don't know, but
it's probably Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know if Io Sky wins it. I don't know. They didn't say where the number one contender would have their match at. I don't know, but
if it's Madison Square Garden, I'm picking Raquel Rodriguez to win.
Okay. I would not mind Raquel. Or maybe it's Raquel. Now, if Raquel does win, listen to this. Maybe Raquel, what if Raquel wins this, gets the match in the Garden at MSG against AJ? I don't know. Roxanne Perez is apparently recovering, like she's been out for a while, like some tumor she had to get removed.
Yeah, she's been out since the Rumble.
Yeah, she had some like tumor in her back. She had to get out, but she's okay though. But she's been out for a while. She should be back soon. She said she's supposed to be back soon. But what if Raquel wins the gauntlet? We get Raquel versus AJ for the IC title in Madison Square Garden on March 30th on Raw. AJ retains, but out comes Roxanne, and we do Roxanne and AJ at WrestleMania. And they set it up that way.
That's good. That'll be a good way to build up the match.
Because I think a lot of people are predicting Io Sky like I am, but I would not mind Raquel winning. But then if Raquel wins, what do you do with Io at WrestleMania? Because Rhea's getting Jade. What do you do with Io? Do you do Io Sky versus Asuka? Or do you think that ship has sailed with that? Or do you do Io Sky versus Julia?
I mean, with the Asuka thing, with Asuka, I mean, you're gonna have to pay off the Asuka storyline.
Asuka and Io and Kyrie in a triple threat, where Kyrie has to choose Asuka or Io, and she chooses Io. You know, Asuka's been abusing Kyrie lately with Kyrie.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam from Roderick Strong in AEW. Adam.
Samoa.
Yeah. Orange.
Darby.
Yeah. Max. But yeah.
This is Asuka's gimmick. Yeah, she's yelling Kyrie's name like Roddy does in AEW, yelling names.
Now, so if you do Asuka and Io, it would be a good match, but you really have much interest in it unless you have Kyrie involved, make it a triple threat where Kyrie has to choose. Either
there has to be a payoff. There has to be a payoff to that storyline. Because, I mean, how long can the storyline last for? Exactly. You could pay it, and at a stage like a WrestleMania, that would be a big event to blow off the storyline between Asuka and Kyrie. Have Kyrie, finally she stands up to Asuka, she turns on her, and then she goes with Io.
Yeah, you tie up loose ends, man.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah, so a triple threat match would make the most sense. Because it started with them and it ends with them. And Io was involved, in the turn, Kyrie turned on Io to side with Asuka.
Yeah.
And then 6 months
I'm
later,
happy Raquel Rodriguez win the gauntlet next week on Raw.
Yeah.
I would go with Raquel. I think Io Sky winning is very safe. And Io and AJ, it would be a banger match, but there's no story with Io and AJ.
Like it's babyface against babyface.
It's just a match. There's zero story.
Like it's babyface against babyface. Like who are we supposed to cheer for?
Yeah.
With Raquel, at least you have a monster heel in Raquel that can try and take the championship off of the beloved babyface AJ Lee.
And Raquel's been killing it lately, so it makes more sense for her to win. Lyra's not winning. Bayley's not winning. It would be nice, but I don't think they win. I think, if anything, Lyra and Bayley are in the women's tag title vortex at Mania, if anything. Ivy Nile, zero chance.
Yeah.
Zero chance of Ivy Nile winning. Zero.
Lyra has better chance of being cast as Catwoman in the next Batman movie, then winning the women's IC title.
Then some people think, oh, Ivy Nile's gonna win. No chance. No chance.
Is this a gauntlet match?
It's a gauntlet, yeah.
Yeah, a gauntlet, yeah. Here's your first elimination in the women's gauntlet match. Ivy Nile, the first one eliminated.
Yeah. Asuka is not winning it either. It's there's no story with Asuka and AJ. Zero story. So
yeah, so honestly, it makes more sense for Raquel to win it.
Yeah, I agree. But with the other stuff on the chamber,
CM Punk versus Finn Balor.
CM Punk and AJ Lee wins the IC title as I predicted, and Adam Carl predicted as well. It was a solid match, but AJ ended up winning. CM Punk, Finn Balor. This was the best thing on the entire show. I'd even say this was better than their match in Belfast before the Royal Rumble. Really good stuff with Punk and Balor, man. Balor wasn't winning, but my goodness, was this some really, really good stuff. There was one spot in the match where Balor tried to coup de grace. Punk caught him in midair with his foot up in the air, caught him with a sharpshooter, which was a very nice counter. And Punk almost won with that, but he didn't. It's a GTS on Balor, retains the title. And Balor, during this match, was calling for the Judgment Day to come out. He's like, no, I'm doing this on my own. But CM Punk ended up retaining the world title as we predicted. And then after the match, Balor put his hand out to try and have Punk shake his hand as a sign of respect. Balor put his hand out. Punk shook his hand, and they showed some signs of respect for each other and one another, celebrating together, and they put each other over. So this was the start of the Balor face turn, start of him being kicked out of Judgment Day, and even more so the Raw after the Chamber, where Finn Balor pretty much cost Dominic Mysterio the Intercontinental title against Penta, and now Penta is the brand new Intercontinental Champion. So congratulations to Zero Miedo, Penta, your new IC champ. But Punk and Balor was the best thing on the entire show, hands down. Sure, this guy could agree with me right here. But Punk was never losing this match. Punk was not losing the title here. There were some people that thought, Finn Balor was going to win.
Hang on, I'll be back. Wait.
Yep. And we found the call to get back. But yeah, like I said, this was predictable going into the Chamber. There was no way Balor was going to win. And some people was like, oh, what if Finn Balor wins and fucks the system a little bit? You get Balor versus Punk versus Reigns for the world title at Mania. That was never going to happen. That was never going to happen at all. But it was never about Balor winning the title. It was about the story of Balor starting to be kicked out of the Judgment Day. And this was the start of it, right here. And Balor putting his hand out to try to get Punk to shake his hand was only the beginning of it. And it led into Monday on Raw this past Monday night. And stuff like that. Now, I do think we still get Balor versus Dom at Mania. And I thought it would be for the IC title, but does it need the IC title? Probably not. Probably not. But do I still think we get that match at Mania, Dom versus Balor? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It may not be for the Intercontinental Championship, but I don't think it needs it. I don't think the story needs it at all. But I do still think we end up getting that ultimately at the end of the day at WrestleMania, Dominic versus Balor. And we get the Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania beating Dominic Mysterio. That's what I truly believe. And then Penta's IC champion. I would say Penta on the WrestleMania card defends the IC title against somebody else. Maybe like Javon Evans, who did pin Dominic, who was the IC champion a few weeks ago in a Chamber qualifying match with Dominic, Gunther, and Javon Evans, where Javon Evans qualified for the Chamber by pinning then IC champion Dominic Mysterio a few weeks ago. So Javon Evans is technically owed an IC title match. You could do Penta versus Javon Evans at WrestleMania for the IC title. It's two faces against each other for the IC title at WrestleMania, but I would not mind that at all. Plus, it would be a banger match, and it would get Javon Evans even more of an exposure, and it would get Javon Evans a WrestleMania debut and highlight and moment. Triple H loves his moments, but Penta, it would get him on the card and the ice time on the card, rightful, and it should be on the card. And it gets Javon Evans on the card, which he absolutely deserves to be on the card. He got called up at the beginning of the year, and you're not leaving Javon Evans off the card. So I hope that's the direction they go. Penta versus Javon Evans at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, and I think that would be a very, very good match. Well, Dominic and Finn Balor get a match at Mania with 0 titles involved. At first, I thought, yeah, have it for the IC title, but looking at the story now, I don't think it needs it. So, sure, this guy could probably agree with me right here whenever he gets back here. I don't know when he's gonna get back here, but I don't know. Take a sip of my water here. I don't know when he's gonna get in here. Still waiting on him, but anyways, but yeah, CM Punk retains against Finn Balor at the Chamber, and then the men's Chamber. When this guy wants to get back, I don't know when he's getting back here, but it's been an awful while, a little bit. But looking at the chat here, no new comments in the chat as well. This guy, what are we doing? But yeah, Punk Balor, good match. Punk retains. The men's Chamber, this was not good. I have to call this out. This was not a good men's Chamber this year at all. We got the entrances longer than the actual match and stuff. Gosh, when's this guy coming back? When's this guy coming back, man? The Adam Carl's not coming in. When's this guy coming in? Let's check the chat here. Nothing new here in the chat. Nothing new here at all. Nothing new at all. I don't know what he's doing. What the hell? Anyways, the men's Chamber. Randy Orton beat LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Logan Paul to win this Chamber and get a WWE title match at WrestleMania 42. We had Javon Evans and Cody Rhodes start this thing, which is nice for Javon to start against their top face of the company, Cody Rhodes. That was nice. Logan Paul did get 3 eliminations in the show as well. He beat Javon Evans. He eliminated Javon Evans with Logan Paul and then Trick Williams. Well, he beat Javon Evans and LA Knight and then Trick Williams. Eliminated for the first 3 in the Chamber did Logan Paul. But this was supposed to be Bronson Reed. I'm sure had Bronson Reed not got hurt, which would have been a lot better. Logan Paul eliminating the first 3 competitors in the match not a lot. A lot of people did not like it much and such, and I could see why. But Bronson Reed, had he not gotten injured, this would have been him in the spot, and it would have looked a lot more better and believable with Bronson Reed. So it sucks that Bronson got hurt, because this would have been a nice spot for him in here. But then the Masked Man came out as Seth Rollins. He curb stomped Logan Paul, and Cody Rhodes eliminated Logan Paul thanks to Seth Rollins, the Masked Man. And Seth Rollins is back. He looks like he looks good, and he's healed from his shoulder injury from Perth in Australia last October. So happy to see Seth Rollins back. We then got, and then it was down to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in the final 2 in the men's Chamber. I don't know what's going on with this guy. This guy, I don't know what's going on here with this guy. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how long. I'm sorry to pause in between, guys. That Adam Carl, hopefully, he should be back soon. I really apologize on this. This doesn't usually happen here. So again, I apologize here. And I don't know. He's been out for a long while now. So again, I am really, really sorry about that. I hope this is not an often thing with him, but we'll see. But yeah, while he's on his way back here, hopefully not much longer. But once you hit the like on the video, especially like now, if you're just seeing this now and you're just watching this, if not watched since the beginning, if you're just clicking on the video and just watching this, make sure you hit that like. It would help a lot in the channel and in the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, that is. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Looking at the subscriber count, I'm at 255 subscribers. I would love to hit at least 260, 265, at least by the end of the month. So make sure you do go subscribe to Fiorious Nation. And then while you're at it, hit the bell for all notifications as well. It would also help in the algorithm when you do subscribe and hit the bell for all notifications. And then again, make sure you like the video as well. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would help with the channel a lot. So make sure you go and do that. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. So, and then yeah, like I said, at FioriNick579 over on X. What the heck's going on with this guy? He's not coming back? I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on here with this guy. Like, he's not coming in. Anyways, I'm going to move on without him if he's not going to do this. But it was down to not Javon Evans. Sorry. A little bit of a stuffy nose. I'm not sick or anything, but why is this guy not coming in here? But it was down to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton at the Chamber, the final two in the Chamber. Drew McIntyre tried getting involved in this match, and he tried claymoring Cody Rhodes. Then Orton attacks Drew. Cody hits Crossroads on Drew. Then Orton hits an RKO on Cody, and Orton eliminates Cody, and Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber and stuff, and Orton's going to WrestleMania. Sorry, just DMing Adam Carl, my co-host here. I don't know what's going on, but I apologize, guys. I just DM'd Adam Carl where the heck he's at, but just waiting on him. I again, I am so sorry. I know it's episode 15, and I really, really apologize, and I hate doing this to you guys. I really, really do. So please bear with me, and I'm so sorry with this. Just, I don't know what the heck's going on, but just trying to work on it the best I can. So please know where I'm coming from, and please understand. So I'm sorry on that, but know what's going on with him. When Adam Carl, I don't know what the heck happened to him. I don't know. I'm gonna move on without him if he's not gonna coming back, and I don't know. But Randy Orton wins the Chamber. This was the right move. Cody Rhodes winning the Chamber would have been very safe, and nobody wanted to see that. So Orton wins the Chamber. 100% the right call. and no one wants to see Cody and Drew again. Now we're getting Cody and Drew for the title this Friday on SmackDown, and there's rumors. We'll get to that in a little bit. Hold on, guys. Where's my camera thing? Where the heck is it? There we go. Sorry, guys. All right, guys. Sorry I had to pause for that a little bit. Trying to contact Adam Carl again. He said he'd be right back. It's been like 5 minutes, so I'm just moving on without him. I don't know when he's going to get back in here, but we have to move on without him. So Orton winning the Chamber. This was no questions asked the right call, and I predicted it. Now, Cody winning would have turned a lot of fans off, and I'm very happy he didn't win. Now, Cody does get Drew for the WWE title once again this Friday on SmackDown, the SmackDown after the Chamber. That's tomorrow night. There are rumors going around that Cody could win the title back. We get Cody and Randy at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship instead of a rumored fatal four-way for the WWE title at WrestleMania with Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. That looks like that's probably not happening. I would say, though, it does happen, but there's rumors that Cody could likely win the title back. I don't like that at all. And Drew should go into Mania as champion. Unless they're doing Cody and Randy at Mania for the title. And going into that match at Mania, Randy or Cody, one of them goes heel. And maybe Randy goes heel. And he punts Cody. And we get Randy win the title at WrestleMania, unless that's a direction. Now, if Drew loses the title, what do you do, Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania? Do you do like Jacob Fatu, which I could see them doing? Now, or this may be a long shot, Drew McIntyre versus Nick Aldis at WrestleMania, since maybe Nick Aldis should be as a wrestler now, since people know him now.
I'm back now.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, finally. Oh, what the hell happened?
Finally, I was just doing some work.
Yeah, man. Man, we were getting worried about
you talked about, Rollins is the masked man.
Yeah, back in the Chambers, cost Logan Paul the Chamber.
Yeah.
After eliminating
Logan
the
Paul
first
getting three
field,
eliminations.
which I didn't like, but that would have been Bronson Reed in the spot had he not got hurt. Or Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Logan was pretty much in the spot that either Braun or Bronson were going to have.
Yeah. But then down to Cody and Randy, Orton won the Chamber, which definitely is the right call. I don't care what anyone says. Cody winning would have been very safe, would have turned so many fans off. You would have pissed a lot of people off if Cody won the fucking Chamber.
Yeah.
And then Punk and Balor, like I said, good stuff. And then Balor's slowly being moved out of Judgment Day, and then the Chamber match for the men's was not good, by the way. The entrances were longer than the Chamber, and the Chamber match for the men was not good. It was shit. It was not good. I'm sorry, it was boring. It was not good at all. It was definitely not better than last year's men's Chamber, I can tell you that, night and day.
Yeah.
But Orton winning was the right decision. Had Cody won, you would have turned so many people off, and it would have been extremely safe for Cody to win, and nobody wanted to see that. Now, we're not getting Drew and Orton at Mania for the title. Cody and Drew supposed to fight each other again for the title tomorrow night on SmackDown. There's reports going around that we could likely see a title change with Cody winning the belt back. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Get my thoughts on it a little bit.
I mean, it's possible.
I hope Cody doesn't win the belt back, and Drew should go into Mania as champion. He really should. And we get that fatal four-way. I know it's like lazy and multi-man Mania, but Drew needs to go into Mania as champion, though.
Yeah. He's been he's been involved in the storyline for months. He's been feuding with Cody since September. He's been involved with Jacob.
And it makes more sense for this match to be a fatal four-way because all four of these men coming out of SummerSlam last year have been feuding in the title picture, or even not in the title picture. They've been feuding the four of them for months. So why would you not have it be a fatal four-way? Oh, well, I hope not because it's lazy and it's multi-man Mania. Who cares? Who cares? Because they've been feuding since the fall.
There's a story that makes sense.
Yeah. Drew deserves to go into Mania as champion, and Orton should be in the title picture, which he will be. Cody doesn't need to go into Mania as champion. He doesn't need to win the title at Mania either. Cody's going to be the face of the company as the champion or not the champion. He doesn't need to be the champion right now. If anything, I would turn Cody Rhodes heel. Yeah. Oh, but then if you turn Cody Rhodes heel, it's because of The Rock.
No.
That's because The Rock made a decision on that. What does this have to do with Dwayne? I ask.
Dwayne he wouldn't even appear once during Cena's heel run.
Yeah, he last showed up at the Chamber, then he ditched.
Yeah.
And then The Rock goes on Pat McAfee's show right after Mania last year. Oh, everything is a work.
Come on now.
Everything's a work. Are you fucking kidding me? You couldn't be even bothered to show up April 20th last year for Cena versus Cody, and he said he got fucking Travis Scott, which the less I talk about that, the better. That was so fucking awful, and it tainted Cena's last ever WrestleMania. It was so god-awful.
Horrendous.
Awful. It was not only one of the worst main events of WrestleMania I've ever seen, one of the worst Manias ever, but that Travis Scott, and you don't even have The Rock show up. And that was his story. Now, I don't want to hear the excuse, oh, it's okay if The Rock didn't show up. That was his story. What do you mean it was okay for him to not show up? That was Rock's story where he wanted Cody's soul, and then Cena sold his soul to The Rock. That was Rock's story. That was Dwayne's story, and he didn't show up for it. So if Cody were to go heel, oh, well, it was because of The Rock. No, it wouldn't be because of Rock. It would be Cody going heel because of Cody. If Cody goes heel, not because of Rock, I'm actually okay with a Cody heel turn. So I'm sure you probably feel the same way on that. And I think Cody, and if there's anything this company needs, it's excitement. Randy going heel would bring excitement. You want even better? Cody going heel.
Exactly.
You
or
know?
Sami Zayn.
You're Sami Zayn? I don't know about Sami Zayn, but Sami's been a part of this storyline as well lately. I don't know if we get him on the card. Probably not. I don't think he needs to be with the story. I don't think it needs to be. Aleister Black. on the show either. He's been a catalyst in the story too, but I don't think he'll be on the card for WrestleMania either. But apparently there's rumors Cody and Randy at WrestleMania one-on-one for the title.
Honestly, it needs more than anything. It needs to be a SummerSlam match. I think.
Yeah, you have 7 weeks to go for Mania. This deserves more long of a build.
Yeah, Drew.
Like, they're going to do Cody and Randy with 7 weeks of build when it should be a lot longer than that.
Yeah, like for WrestleMania, it needs to be a 4-way. Orton, Cody, Drew defending the title, and Jacob Fatu.
Yes. And Jacob has said, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Jacob Fatu says he wants a shot at the title against Drew?
Yeah.
So why would you have Drew lose the title tomorrow?
Yeah.
And they're saying that the reason maybe Drew losing the title, it's not because of Drew's hard work, but they're saying that Randy and Cody have been pitching about it for the past month. No one knows what's fucking going on. No, the dirt sheets don't know a damn thing what's going on for WrestleMania, by the way. Like I've said several times here on the show. None of these dirt sheets know. Oh, we could see a title change. Oh, it might happen. Oh, they're going to do Cody and Randy. How do you know? Do you work for the company?
No. No, you don't.
So, I don't know. Maybe it's a TKO thing that think it's more money draw. I don't know. But I would hope we get the Fatal 4-Way, honestly. That's the better way to go about it. Like, you could still do a Fatal 4-Way. Randy could turn heel and win the title at Mania. Then Cody could chase going into SummerSlam in Minneapolis against the champion Orton. That's the better way to go about it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like the idea of Cody winning back the belt tomorrow at all, unless Cody goes into Mania as champion, drops it to Randy, but going into it or at the match at Mania, Cody versus Randy goes heel. Because if you remember, I think that Randy cut a promo on Cody that when Cody and Randy were in the King of the Ring finals in Saudi at Night of Champions last year, that Randy hesitated to punt Cody in the head. Randy said he hesitated, but now this time he doesn't hesitate, and Orton goes full heel, and he punts Cody in the head. He turns heel, punts Cody in the head, and is the champion. And we got Randy Orton as a heel, as a WWE champion on SmackDown coming out of WrestleMania. Unless you do that, then I don't like Cody winning the belt back tomorrow at all. I don't know how you feel about it. Unless maybe Randy goes heel. Idea. The only way Cody and Randy one-on-one at Mania works is if one of them goes heel.
Even then, wouldn't you want the heel turn to happen at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Like, do we really need a repeat of what they did with Cena last year?
Not really. However, they would have plans, I do believe, for a heel Orton than a heel Cena, though.
Yeah. And it would probably be a much better match because we wouldn't have fucking Travis Scott in there. We won't have Dwayne in there.
Yeah. I really say the Fatal 4-Way is the better way to go about it. That's my opinion. But we have Drew versus Cody tomorrow. If Drew loses the title, do we get Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu one-on-one? Drew McIntyre, Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis gets in the ring? Because Drew McIntyre has been champion, has been trying to push Nick Aldis's button and try and go above him. I don't know. How do you feel about Nick Aldis wrestling at WrestleMania against Drew McIntyre?
I mean, he should be in the ring right now. Like, how many years has he been the GM?
I think people know Nick Aldis more now already than they did before he came in. I think he's at a point where people know who he is now, so he can wrestle now.
If you're gonna have Cody win the championship, that's honestly the other best thing you could do with McIntyre. McIntyre versus Nick Aldis. If
you do Drew and Aldis, Cody Orton for the title. Now, with Jacob Fatu, do you do him and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania?
I mean, if Sami gets revealed as the attacker, you could do that.
Yeah. Maybe it's Sami, maybe it's Cody, maybe it's Randy as the attacker. I have no idea.
I mean, there's another storyline you're going to have to conclude.
Maybe Jacob assumes it's Sami, and we get Jacob and Sami at WrestleMania. I don't know.
I wouldn't hate it.
Do we get Cody and Randy for the title one-on-one at Mania, and Aleister Black is involved as a catalyst that, and because remember, Aleister Black said not long ago he wants to see that heel 09 Orton again. He wants to bring that 09 Orton out again.
Yeah.
Like, I could see, like, I want to see that 2009 Randy Orton with no remorse. Maybe Aleister's the reason Orton goes heel. I don't know. But that's just a thought. But I do hope we ultimately get a fatal 4-way. And I hope Jacob and Orton get involved in the match somehow. They have to. I think Orton and Cody one-on-one is better saved and reserved for SummerSlam, in my opinion. I would not hate it at Mania, but I think it's better with SummerSlam than at WrestleMania, where you have SummerSlam with more time. WrestleMania is just 7 weeks away. I don't know if it's a good idea for Cody and Randy one-on-one at WrestleMania with less than 2 months away to go for Mania. So just our thoughts on that. But overall, the Chamber wasn't that good. It was average, but the Raw coming out of the Chamber was a lot better. It's a lot more better in talking about for the Raw Monday. Coming out of the Chamber, we got Gunther, Dragon Lee, banger match. They stole the whole show, and Gunther won. At first, I thought he was going to lose by count out, but they really had me there. Almost had a heart attack watching that shit, bro.
They were never going to have Gunther losing to Dragon Lee.
There was a spot where Dragon Lee was back body dropped over to the timekeeper's area, which looked nasty. Then Gunther powerbombed him on the apron, and then on the table to Dragon Lee on the outside from Gunther. And Gunther tried to break up the 10 count. Then Dragon Lee with some Mexican destroyer sunset flip bomb, and Gunther almost lost. And then Dragon Lee with the Operation Dragon Lee's finisher. Gunther almost lost by count out from there. That was like almost a count out win for Dragon Lee. And then Dragon Lee tries Operation Dragon again. He gets put in the sleeper, and Gunther rips the mask off, and Dragon Lee taps out. And then Gunther wins, banger match, as in Gunther wins as he should. Then Gunther, as you saw, wiped his feet behind the mask that he ripped off Dragon Lee. Now there's rumors of Gunther, his WrestleMania opponent. There are rumors. Top 3 candidates for Gunther's WrestleMania opponent: Brock Lesnar, or Obafemi, or Rey Mysterio. I'm trying to look up who is this according to, whether it's from Fightful or PW Insider, but they're in the top 3 candidates of Gunther's WrestleMania opponent. I would say more so Rey Mysterio, especially if what we saw Monday, Rey Mysterio is one of the greatest luchadors. Gunther goes from career killer to a guy that's like, I'm sorry?
Luchador killer.
Luchador killer. Not ending the career of Rey Mysterio, but ripping off the mask of Dragon Lee. Maybe get Rey Mysterio involved. You get Rey Mysterio and Gunther. I would not mind it. Is it really scream a major WrestleMania match? No, but I don't mind it whatsoever. And there's a story with it.
Yeah. I mean, he's beaten John Cena. Gunther, he's retired Cena. He's retired AJ Styles. He's beat Dragon Lee.
He's beat Goldberg.
Yeah. He retired Goldberg.
Yeah.
And Dragon Lee, he was AJ's partner.
He was. And AJ Styles going to the Hall of Fame this year, by the way.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio, he teamed up with Dragon Lee. And he has a lot of history with AJ and Cena.
Yes.
He can have Rey Mysterio, he can try to stand up to Gunther, wants revenge for not just AJ, but for Cena too.
And for Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
And the Luchadors. And now Gunther wiped his feet behind the mask. That could probably be leading to Gunther and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. Because Rey Mysterio is considered one of the greatest luchadors of all time. You know? Wiping his feet behind the mask. Dragon Lee's mask is Gunther. Who's going to take not too kindly of that? Of the luchador heritage. Master of the 619 Rey Mysterio. I think he's still out. He should hopefully be back soon.
Hopefully.
And he was supposed to be on WrestleMania last year, but right before Mania last year, he got hurt.
He was going to face Gable Americano.
Gracias, El Grande Americano, the original Americano.
We're going to talk about him later.
Yes. Gunther
No,
and Rey Mysterio, I think, is likely. I don't think we get... Gunther and Lesnar, I would say for SummerSlam. Gunther and Oba, neither guy can lose.
Yeah. So we're supposed to face we're supposed to get Rey Mysterio versus Gable Americano last year, but then they replaced Rey with another Rey Phoenix. Yeah, so we still gotten Rey versus Americano. It wasn't Mysterio though.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think Mysterio versus Gunther then makes more sense. Oba just got called up. Oba and Gunther, that's a dream match.
But it's a lose-lose. Oba can't lose. Gunther can't lose. That's booking yourself into a corner with that.
Yeah, like Oba, he cannot lose so far. He just got called up. He can't lose right now. At least Gunther just retired 3 legends in a span of 6 months. He can't lose right now. He should not be losing all year.
Yeah, he should not lose. Period. This year at all.
Lesnar, maybe, but I think you do that for SummerSlam. Yeah, and if Lesnar retires. If he retires this year, you retire him in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he gets retired by Gunther
and Brock's hometown. I think that's the better way to go about it, and it makes more sense with Gunther and Lesnar at SummerSlam than WrestleMania. Yes, Gunther and Brock Lesnar's a WrestleMania worthy match, but it makes more sense. It's better off to hold off on that match until SummerSlam this August, where Lesnar has his last match there, and he gets retired by Gunther. I think that's the way to go about it. I would not hate Gunther and Lesnar this year's Mania, but I think it's better off to save it till SummerSlam. And you have Lesnar versus Oba, and then Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. That's what I feel. Now, and Brock Lesnar's doing this open challenge too. I hope to God Oba Femi. Now, Lesnar issued this open challenge a week ago, and no one came out. And Oba was at the show last week. It looked so dumb, but Lesnar's supposed to be on the next several Raws. I think he's supposed to be also in the Garden and MSG as well. Yeah. I don't know if they set up Oba and Brock there, but I really hope this, even whether it's before that show or at that show, the Raw and MSG or whatnot, I really do hope, or do they save Lesnar's mystery opponent till Mania and then Oba answers it there? I don't know. I just hope at the end of the day, we get Oba versus Brock at Mania. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar LA Knight. That would be disastrous for both men, because neither guy looks good coming out of that whatsoever.
It would be more disastrous for LA Knight.
It'll be almost like 2016 WrestleMania with Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar in that hardcore match. Remember that?
Yeah, more like a squash match.
Oh, but it was a hardcore match. Nothing was hardcore about that match. Nothing.
It was hardcore indeed. It was brutal indeed. It was brutally awful.
It was a mockery of hardcore, and Lesnar buried him.
Clearly Brock Lesnar looked like he'd rather be anywhere else than at WrestleMania that night.
He didn't look like he gave a fuck. He didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go in, pick up his paycheck, and leave. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah. Like you think LA Knight stands a chance against Brock Lesnar? Give me a break.
Or Brock Lesnar selling for a BFT or losing to a BFT. I don't think Brock wants to do that.
Good luck convincing him. Good luck.
Oh, Brock, you're going to lose to LA Knight and you're going to get hit with a BFT and lose to that. Like, that just looks... And Brock selling for a BFT and losing to it, I don't think looks believable either.
Yeah.
It looks so unbelievable. Nothing against LA Knight, but I just don't see it being realistic.
Yeah, like on no planet will LA Knight has a chance. No, on no planet does LA Knight have a chance of beating Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, zero chance.
Like he can't he lost to a low blow. He lost to a low blow in the Elimination Chamber. You think he's gonna beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania?
Yeah, did LA Knight lost a low blow? Yeah. Yeah. And one of the worst chambers this year's men's chamber. It was awful. The entrances were a lot longer than the fucking match. But I hope we get Brock and Oba, Gunther and Rey. That's the way to go about it. And then do Lesnar Gunther for SummerSlam. You don't need to do that match now at WrestleMania. So there was Gunther Dragon Lee stole the show. We had the Vision and Seth Rollins open the show. LA Knight driving the ambulance, speaking of whom, with Paul Heyman getting curb stomped, a bloody nose Heyman in the ambulance. Logan Paul think went in the ambulance with him, and then Austin Theory was taken out, I think, by Jimmy Uso, I think that was.
Yeah.
And then LA Knight was driving the ambulance. Yeah. So there was that. We had Jimmy Uso, Austin Theory, wasn't much. Jey Uso came back miraculously. We're getting Usos versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory. Do you care for that?
I'd rather do that match at an MSG.
Yeah.
I'm brutally honest.
I would say Seth Rollins, though. What do you do with him at Mania? There's rumors it's going to be Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. We've seen that. But I would do Seth Rollins and LA Knight versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory in a tag team match at WrestleMania. Is it WrestleMania big worthy for Seth? No. But Braun is hurt and Bronson's hurt. I don't think Braun Breaker makes this year's Mania. Maybe he does. I could be wrong, but I don't think he does. Maybe you do the tag match, Seth and LA versus Theory and Logan at Mania. And maybe you have Bad Bunny involved somehow, have him be a special guest enforcer or referee, where so everyone's in check and Heyman's in check, because Adam Pearce trying to keep the division in check. He can't. But in order to keep everyone in check in the match at Mania, Bad Bunny's the special referee or enforcer. And then Seth and LA can win, and Bad Bunny could help with that. And it maybe leads to Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul in Tampa at Backlash on May 9th.
Maybe. Honestly,
they could probably
that's
do
the
that.
best route to go. That's honestly the best route to go. Rollins and Knight against Theory and Logan.
You have Bad Bunny involved, because I do think he might be involved in Mania. I think it makes more sense for him to be involved in Mania. And I don't, and with his political beliefs aside, I do think it's good for him. I don't mind him at Mania, and he actually respects the business. This Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny is actually someone that takes wrestling seriously. And Bad Bunny and Logan Paul, I don't think would be bad at Backlash at all. I mean, Bad Bunny had a banger match with Damian Priest at Backlash in 2023 in Puerto Rico, that Puerto Rican street fight, which was awesome. Bad Bunny had a good match with Damian Priest. So that's probably the way to, I would say that's the way to go about it, my pitch. I think that makes more sense. Because no one wants to see Brock Lesnar, LA Knight. And what else do you do with Seth? Seth and Logan one-on-one? We've seen that. Been there, done that. Unless Braun Breaker comes back before Mania, but I don't see it happening.
I mean, I hope he comes back. I hope he gets cleared in time for Mania. But if he's not, then you go with the tag match.
I agree. I agree 100% on that, man. We also have had on the show, what else we had on the show? Oh, shit. We had AJ Lee come out saying that about her winning the IC title, saying she's going to be a fighting champion and stuff like that. Just a run-of-the-mill promo. Nothing real special, but they announced a gauntlet match for AJ Lee's IC title #1 contender, stuff like that. They did have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky on the stage cut a promo when Rhea was looking in the camera, saying that, Jade, I'm coming for you on SmackDown Friday face-to-face. Not too bad, but not much of it going into it. We did also have on the show, if I can look up, Penta and Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. Really good stuff. And a new IC champion. Well, before that, Danhausen was backstage with Adam Pearce. I want my face on production trucks, and I want the Triple H finger point like everyone does. And I want a Hall of Fame induction. I want the Hall of Fame induction. Here's the list of demands.
Yeah, you better give it to him, Triple H.
Adam Pearce with the glasses, Adam Pearce. Doing a Danhausen voice. Doing my best with it.
Yeah, you better give him what he wants, Hunter. We need Danhausen for the 2026 Hall of Fame.
Then Adam Pearce is like, why is it all wet? That's from the toilet. Look, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. If it's from the toilet, I don't want to know. Please. No. If that's from the toilet, disgusting.
Bro, I expect something. I expect someone like the Boogeyman to do that.
Oh my god. What Boogeyman with the fucking worms? And him eating worms? Jeez. Oh my Jesus.
Here's a segment that they can book at some point. Danhausen and the Boogeyman.
Oh god.
Because Danhausen like worms.
Remember Boogeyman wrestled at WrestleMania in 2006 against Booker T and Charmel in a handicap.
Yeah, the Boogeyman, he kissed Charmel when he had the worms in his mouth.
God, was that awful.
Disgusting.
And that was what they were doing to Booker T at WrestleMania in 06, the fucking Boogeyman.
Yeah, that's the best we have for you, Booker. We need you to put over the Boogeyman.
That was
We're
so.
gonna make you King Booker. You're gonna be world champion.
That was disgusting and not in the right way.
Yeah, Booker. We have big plans for you this year. You're gonna be king of the ring. You're gonna be world champion. You're gonna be King Booker. But first, we need you to put over the worms. We need you to put over the Boogeyman, pal.
Because he's the Boogeyman and he's coming to get you. That was so awful, bro. But Danhausen did put a curse on Dominic. Because it's like, hello, welcome Finn, welcome Dom, welcome. Didn't even mention JD McDonough by name, and JD McDonough's like, I hate this guy already. And then you see Finn Balor trying not to laugh, but he kind of breaks character. And it's like, oh, what is this? This IC title? Can I touch it? And Dom's like, whoa, this is the closest you ever get to this title. Which Dominic, I agree with. Dominic, I have to agree with you, man. Danhausen is an IC champion. Not a chance. Not a chance, bro. And then Danhausen's the Dominic. You are cursed. And then the Judgment Day members turn to talk to each other. Then they turn to face Danhausen again, and he's gone like Batman, like that. He's disappeared. But this all.
Yeah, but the moment he cursed him, but remember, he cursed Dom. You know what that means.
And I expected Dom to retain and go into Mania as champion, IC champion, that is to defend against Balor, and we get Balor kicked out of Judgment Day here. But JD McDonough went to go get the ring bell hammer for Dom, where Dom told him to go get it. Balor stopped JD in his tracks. And Balor pretty much cost Dominic the IC title. And then Penta did this tope to the outside to both Balor and McDonough. Then Dominic tries a 619 on Penta, misses it. Penta, it's a beautiful Mexican destroyer. And Penta with the 1-2-3 on Dom. Very good match for the IC title. And the winner in new Intercontinental Champion, Zero Miedo Penta. New IC champion. Been on the WWE main roster in WWE for a year. And I thought Dominic would win, but Penta won the title. I don't hate this whatsoever. And honestly, bro, Penta with some gold, it's about damn time and well-deserved. Yeah. Very well-deserved. I don't hate this move at all. I think Dominic retaining would have been very safe. This is not safe with Penta winning. I like this, actually.
It shakes things up in the lead up to WrestleMania.
And it adds the next layer to the Balor kicked out of Judgment Day story. And I don't think Balor and Dom needs the title. I don't think so.
And Penta's been chasing he's been chasing the IC title for a year now. And how many times has he lost to Dom? How many times?
Better yet, how many times has he lost the IC title match?
Yeah.
Like 5 times.
Like he had to win at some point.
Yeah, like 5 times he lost.
Yeah.
Something like that, but I don't hate the move at all. It's honestly deserved. Now, Penta going into Mania, I would say now Penta should be on the Mania card and defend the IC title. What about Penta versus Javon Evans? Because remember, Javon Evans qualified for the Chamber. He beat Gunther and then IC champion Dominic a few weeks ago on Raw. He did pin then champion Dominic. So Javon Evans is technically owed an Intercontinental title match. Javon Evans and Penta at WrestleMania for the IC title. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
It's two faces going at it, but it's a banger match. And
yeah, Javon has been getting over. He's been getting these big matches on the main roster.
And he should be on the card too. And he just got called up at the beginning of the year. And also the right move, the title went to Penta. The IC title, like the US title, should be like a workhorse title. The title did nothing on Dominic. He beat John Cena for it at Survivor Series, and what did he do with it to Dom? Nothing.
I don't think he defended it once.
He did jack shit with it.
Like, I understand he was also injured. But it's like he did nothing with it.
He didn't fuck all with it. Like, he didn't defend it. And honestly, I think it's the right move he lost it to Penta. And how many times was Penta going to lose? Had Penta lost, like, what do you do with Penta? I don't know. I think it's the right move at the end of the day that Penta won the championship, and he deserves it. I'm very happy for Penta.
He's been doing some great work.
And he's still over as fuck.
Yeah.
He's still very much over. I don't know. And this may be a long shot. Ray Phoenix moved to Raw to face Penta at WrestleMania for the IC title. That may be a long shot, but
yeah, long shot.
But Penta and Javon Evans, I don't hate that. Or you could do Penta and Rusev. I would not mind that either. I think there's more you can do with Penta as IC champion than Dominic as IC champion. Dominic and Balor at Mania for the IC title, I think, was very predictable. I don't think it needed to be for the title. Now you have Balor and Dom at Mania without the title, and I think it's better off with no title involved with that feud. And I think the title involved in that feud the title would feel lost in that feud.
Yeah.
I think. But we then got another thing on the show. Speaking of Rusev came on the announce table saying he wants, he wants attention. Then Obafemi comes out. Rusev and Obafemi get in a big brawl. Rusev had like 2 Machka kicks, and then Obafemi, he picked up Rusev high in the air with this one-arm spine buster, man. Like, he picked up Rusev like he was a damn cruiserweight.
Yeah, and the look on Rusev's face.
It's actually a meme now on social media. It's on there still. It's like... And then Rusev and Obafemi's booked for a one-on-one next week. I don't mind that at all. It's 2 bulls. It's a meat match, man. It's a meat match. 2 bulls going at it. I like it. See, this is what Obafemi should be doing. Not facing The Miz. Not facing Kit Wilson. And I'm sure you loved Obafemi. Yeah. Yeah. The guy who yells toxic.
Yeah, he who apparently is viral. Kit Wilson is going viral.
You mean his theme music is going viral? And then Obafemi and The Miz last week on SmackDown, please. I don't even want to talk about that at all because it was a waste of time. Obafemi didn't even sell for the skull-crushing finale, as he shouldn't, and he squashed The Miz to no surprise. See, this is who Obafemi should be facing, guys like Rusev, not the fucking Miz.
Yeah, not Kit Wilson. Not Tozawa.
Not Otis. Not even Otis.
Yeah, he should be facing guys like Rusev. That's what's going to get him over on the main roster with matches against the likes of Rusev.
And at first, I guess some people thought this would be a squash with Rusev and Oba. I don't think it is.
It should not be a squash.
No, I don't think it will be either. I expect
just give these guys 15 minutes to tear the house down.
I expect those 2 to have a good match next week, too.
Yeah, like give these guys 15 minutes and they can tear the house down.
Yeah. But I enjoyed this segment, honestly, with Rusev and Oba. And this Indianapolis crowd was much better than the Chicago crowd, dude. Not even, it's like night and day. And Obafemi got a really nice reaction in Indianapolis as well.
Yeah. Oba.
They did the woo.
Yeah.
Very nice stuff from Obafemi and Rusev. Then we got El Grande Americano, the Gable Americano versus, I think it was Bravo Americano, I think it was. Or Rayo. Bravo Americano. That's Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
And yes, and the Gable Americano won this match here. I think this leads to mask versus mask at Mania. The Gable Americano versus Kaiser Americano. And I think Kaiser Americano goes over and Gable Americano unmasks this Chad Gable again. We get Chad Gable back on TV.
Yeah, and in the middle of the match, I think you see it in the middle of the match, Gable, he tried to unmask the imposter Americano.
Yes. Second
time
in a row.
Did it.
Or several times, rather.
Yes. And he's been trying to unmask him for a month now, and every time the Los Americanos, they save the second Americano.
Yeah.
And then Americano, Gable Americano, he wins with the Chaos Theory, the rolling German, and then he gets out of the ring quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think this leads to mask versus mask.
Yeah, I think that's what they're building to, yeah. to WrestleMania, and this is and you finally conclude the Gable Americano storyline that they didn't get to finish last year.
Yeah, even
and it's about time they get Chad Gable back.
Yeah, the dude looks like
it's
in the best shape of his fucking life. He looks jacked. This Gable.
Yeah, he looks like he could rip apart a fucking machine.
Absolutely, and let's get Chad Gable as Chad Gable again, and let's get some singles gold around his waist too. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Whether they have a transfer window or a draft after Mania this year, let's get Chad Gable an American made to SmackDown. Let's get Chad Gable the United States title. It makes sense. And that's something perfect. I would love to see personally. It's about time we get some gold on Chad Gable, and the guy should be getting a push. Like, enough of this El Grande shit for Gable. I think it's kind of nearing that expiration date.
Honestly, the reason it's lasted this long was because he was hurt.
Yeah, and then Kaiser took the role. I mean, I don't like anyone getting hurt. I don't wish injury on anyone. But this injury may have been a blessing for Ludwig Kaiser. May have been the best thing to happen to Ludwig Kaiser, because look at him now. He's killing it with the Americano gimmick. Yeah, it's silly with him and Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate under the Americano masks, but especially Kaiser's been killing it in this role, and he's actually made it his own, and I think he's doing great with it now. He's killing it now with this role. And they're over as hell in AAA as well. So I don't think they're going to unmask Ludwig Kaiser here. If it's mask versus mask going into Mania, which that should be on the card. And I have that story with that. But I would say, if anything, Gable unmasks at WrestleMania. So I think it's where they go. But Kaiser, again, has been killing it in this role. Had Gable not got hurt, I don't know where Kaiser would be. He'd probably get released.
He'd probably be jobbing on main event.
Yeah. If anything, this may have been a blessing for Kaiser. It sucks that Gable got hurt, but if anything, Ludwig Kaiser got really lucky in this. He wasn't even supposed to be in this gimmick.
Yeah.
So I mean, happy for Ludwig Kaiser. I'm glad he's killing this gimmick, but I think Gable, if anything, going in like at Mania, I think hopefully we get Chad Gable as Chad Gable again. So we'll see what happens with Gable and Kaiser, the Americanos, going into WrestleMania 42. And then we got like some video package with Liv Morgan, Stephanie Vatcare, some kind of stuff with their match at Mania. I'm not sold on their match yet. I don't know if Liv Morgan wins the title. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe we get Liv winning and it creates tension in Judgment Day with Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne. I don't know.
Maybe.
Too early to tell, but they had a video package for Liv Morgan highlighting her NXT Black and Gold run, stuff like that. And then we got Austin Theory, Jimmy Uso. This ended in the match being thrown out. Jey Uso made a miraculous recovery. No yeeting, though. He grabbed a crutch, and the Usos took it to the division. There was no yeeting, by the way, from Jey. I don't think this is a match for Mania, like you said early in the show. I think they say this for a Raw show, this World Tag Title match with the Usos and the Vision.
Yeah.
But the biggest talking point coming out of Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns and CM Punk, man. Holy shit. I am actually going to bring this up here. And now I thought their first promo was good, where Roman Reigns got the W in that promo. This second promo may have topped their first promo. I don't know what you feel, but I didn't expect them to top their first promo. But my goodness, bro. Roman Reigns bringing up 30 to 40-year-old virgins, saying that, without me, CM Punk doesn't be brought back, and yeah, we'll use you to make some money here and there, and then when we'll send you down to help the kids in NXT, when you bring them up to the main roster, Roman Reigns is going to smash him. Then Roman Reigns drops the mic and he's about to leave, and Punk stops him. Whoa, you're just going to have the final word here? No. You can hate me all you want, Roman. You don't even have to love me. Then CM Punk says this. Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I'm not just going to beat you, Roman. I'm going to bury you, Roman. And then this was the line that made it personal. I'm like, ooh. CM Punk, from CM Punk to Roman Reigns. After I beat you and after I bury you, I'm going to bury you next to your father.
Ooh.
Then Roman Reigns. This was really good stuff. This may have topped their first promo, man.
He looked so angry.
And remember what Rock said at the WrestleMania 40 press conference in Vegas 2 years ago when Cody Rhodes mentioned the Rock's and Roman Reigns family, when Cody Rhodes said, if your father and your father were here, they would be ashamed of what you're doing now. And the Rock to Cody Rhodes, you talk about his family, you talk about my family. You talk about his blood, you're talking about my blood. Now we have a problem. And then the Rock slapped Cody Rhodes in the face. I don't know, does the Rock get involved in this?
Oh my God.
Because CM Punk mentioned Roman's family and Roman's dead father. Oh, I don't know. Maybe CM Punk is taking Christian Cage AEW lessons where he's like, your father's dead. Or Christian Cage to Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, I never wanted to be your father. I never wanted to be your father figure. You have a father. But your father's dead.
I mean, he did work with Christian. Punk,
he did.
WWE and AEW. They did work together. I
Yeah.
think there's one video. I think you remember. I think when Punk first came into the company, where he says, "If you don't agree with it, shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, that video is. There's that video is still available online, being used as a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my goodness.
Yeah, maybe Kristen inspired.
Yeah. But holy shit, bro. If Roman Reigns, after this promo here, if Roman Reigns doesn't mention next Larry CM Punk's dead dog, if Roman Reigns doesn't mention Larry, I'll be very disappointed. He's got to mention Larry.
He needs to mention that in his next promo. He needs to mention Larry.
Yep. Got to. I'll be highly disappointed, man. They got to do that. They got to do that, man. Or, I mean, that and what? CM Punk's dad used to be an alcoholic. Roman Reigns got to mention that too. But at least Larry. But, I mean, this topped their first promo where Roman Reigns in the first promo, Punk, I choose you at Mania because I hate you and you tried to make me feel like a young boy and you tried to brainwash my family. Then their first promo. And it's like, I'm not choosing you at Mania, Punk, because you're the biggest star on Netflix. I'm choosing you, Punk, at Mania because I hate you. And then CM Punk, the second promo, I'm going to bury you, Roman, next to your father. And you see the look on Roman's face. He was very angry. He's like, now again, does The Rock get involved? I have no idea.
I will say no. I think it needs to be more so between.
You don't think
Punk
we get the final boss involved?
No. I think more than anything, it needs to be about Punk and Reigns. It needs to be like their story.
Now, do we get a new champ at WrestleMania, or does Punk retain? Now, if Roman wins, I think Netflix has said they want Roman as champion. If Roman's staying around, then yeah, Roman is champion, but I don't see Roman staying around after Mania much. If anything, if it was up to me, if I had the power of the pen, I would have CM Punk retain.
CM Punk has been doing fantastic work this year. He's had a fantastic world title reign. Why would you take it off of him?
He's been a really good world champion, facing really good matches with AJ Styles, Finn Balor. He's already in discussion this year for Wrestler of the Year. But we're not even into most of the year yet.
This guy is 38. This guy's 48 years old. He's approaching 50, and yet he wrestles like he's still 30.
Yeah. So why would you have Punk lose the title at Mania? I would have Punk. I would seriously have Punk retain against Roman at Mania. I would.
Yeah.
I would. But this was a great promo from Punk and Roman Part 2. Roman won the first World promo. Punk won the second. Now we got to get Roman Reigns mentioned and Larry, bro. And I was sold on their Mania match with their first promo. This, if you weren't sold on their match, Punk and Roman at Mania from the first promo, and if this didn't sell you with the second promo this time, I don't know what will. I'm absolutely more than sold on this match for WrestleMania. And I can confidently sit here and say that you feel the same way too, bro.
Absolutely.
Like, first two promos, they've knocked it out of the fucking park. So, I'm very excited for Punk and Roman at Mania, and that is your night 2 main event, by the way. Still is. Now, like I said, do we get Rock involved, and that sets up Rock and Roman for next year's Mania in Saudi? Or does Punk or Roman go heel?
We'll see.
I'm sorry?
We will see.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But CM Punk mentioned Roman's family. And I think Zillafot, too, even on social media, mentioned that from that promo. I think he was not happy with Punk either, with Zillafot, too.
Yeah, he's gonna retaliate.
Yeah, I forget what he said about Punk on social media, but Zillafot, too, let's just say he was not a happy camper. Even Nia Jax wasn't happy about it. The Nia Jax from SmackDown says that OTC's going to stand tall. But that was Raw Monday. Very good show. Much better than Raw last week, and much better in the Chamber.
Yeah, honestly, this is so far, honestly, unless SmackDown, I know SmackDown is tomorrow, but so far, honestly, for Raw, honestly, that it's been the best show all weekend.
All week, yeah. We're not even to SmackDown Friday, but Raw this past Monday, where was this Raw in Atlanta last week, which was one of the worst Raws of this year, the Raw in Atlanta a week ago? And what we got on Raw, where was this at the Chamber in Chicago of all cities?
I have no idea.
Like, Gunther and Dragon Lee stole the show. Why was this not on the Chamber? But instead we got the crate. You could have put Gunther and Dragon Lee on the Chamber card. Easy.
Nah, bro. Well, Bruce Pritchard, he would be so offended if one of his great 90s ideas weren't on the paper.
Dude, they had the men's chamber entrance longer than the fucking men's chamber itself. The men's chamber was shit. It was bad. But Raw was much better. And we got 7 weeks to go to Mania. This is the start. I hope they keep this up. What they did on Raw Monday, I'm hoping they keep this up. Because they need to. They need to. The product's not bad, but it's boring. There's no excitement, and we need excitement. This past Monday was a start. So hopefully they keep that up. And hopefully it bleeds into SmackDown tomorrow on Friday. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
Then NXT. Not much happened. So Ruka did soul snatch both Zarya and JC Jane, which they had a women's title match. I don't know if this leads to a triple threat for the title, and maybe like Stand and Deliver, or the Roadblock and Theater and MSG for NXT. The NXT before Stand and Deliver. I'm not sure, but we'll see on that. We also got a Ricky Saints, almost like Miz TV, Ricky Saints talk show segment talking about Joe Hendry, stuff like that. We do have Vengeance Day coming up this Saturday as well. It's at the Performance Center. I don't know if I'll be watching. I probably will, but I mean, we got Tony D'Angelo versus Dion Lennox and on the match I don't care for. Blake Monroe, Jada Parker, street fight should be good. Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, the underground match. And then Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's North American title. Then Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints for the NXT title. I don't know how you feel about this being a throwaway show. NXT Vengeance Day, that is.
I mean, it should be good. I mean, I hope the talent deliver. But it honestly feels more so to build towards Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, it feels like a roadblock to, no pun intended, roadblock to Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. It's a roadblock, pretty much, because they want to get it to Stand and Deliver. They're trying to build it.
Yeah, I think Joe
Hendry
can
use that show to build to Stand and Deliver. It's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. I think Joe Hendry more than likely retains the North American NXT Women's North American Championship. I'm hoping it goes to Tatum Paxley, but I don't think it happens. I think Izzy Dame sadly retains. Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan. I could see Lola Vice win this.
Yeah.
It's her type of match against Kalani Jordan. Blake Monroe and Jada Parker. I'm
picking Blake.
That's nice. I'm actually gonna go Jada Parker.
I'm picking Blake.
It should be a good match, honestly. Probably the only match I'm looking forward to on this entire show on Saturday. And it's actually the last NXT PLE, by the way. I just read last NXT PLE on Peacock, as they're supposed to leave Peacock soon. I don't know where NXT PLEs land. I hope to God they don't land on ESPN.
Put it on Netflix. I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, I would not mind Netflix at all. But please do not have ads and commercials on there, please. Or why can't they just extend the Peacock deal? Seriously. I don't get it.
What do you do, though? The question is, though, what do you do with Blake at Stand and Deliver?
Do we extend this feud, Jada and Blake going into Stand and Deliver? Do we extend that feud?
I don't know. I do have an idea, though.
Does Blake Monroe get called up to the main roster after WrestleMania is what I want to know.
Maybe, but I will say, though, I do have an idea. And I don't know, because I think her AEW deal is up this spring. I don't know if it's this month or next month. But if she's available in this month, let's say her deal comes up this month, I think you do Blake Monroe versus Anna Jay at Stand and Deliver.
That could probably be the case. And yeah, maybe Blake Monroe wins this street fight and we get Blake Monroe and Anna Jay at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, if Anna's deal with AEW expires this month, right before Stand and Deliver, you could do her versus Blake.
I would not mind that.
I mean, they do have history from AEW. They did face each other multiple times.
I would not hate that at all, man.
And I mean, absolutely. And this could be a way to call up Blake Monroe to the main roster, having her put Anna over.
Yeah, you could do that. Because I think Blake Monroe probably is going to be called up to the main roster by the end of the year, and she should.
Yeah.
If anything, it would inject her called up, would inject life and excitement to Raw or SmackDown, which they desperately need, especially SmackDown. So, yeah, Blake Monroe, Anna Jay, I would not mind that. If that's a direction, I'm all for that. So, then Tony D'Angelo and Dion Lennox, don't care. Don't care. What are they doing with Tony D'Angelo? What are they doing with Tony D'Angelo, man?
I have no idea.
He's still stuck in NXT after being there for over 4 years.
4 years now? Call him up already.
Why is he still in NXT? Why?
I have no idea.
Grayson Waller's on the main roster, Carmelo Hayes is on the main roster, and Braun Breaker's on the main roster. And Tony D'Angelo is still stuck on NXT.
Yeah,
I don't
with
get
the Dion Lennox.
Yeah, feuding with fucking Dark State. Yeah. A fucking pillow has more charisma than fucking Dark State.
Oh, God.
Seriously, who cares? Who cares about Dark State? Who cares about Dion Lennox?
And it's heel versus heel. It's a heel group against the heel wrestler.
What the fuck do you cheer for?
Who should we boo? Who should we cheer for?
Oh, but Tony D cost Dark State the tag titles against the Vanity Project. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody asked for this match.
This is a heel faction against another heel guy. Who should we boo? Who should we cheer for?
Yeah, I know. I guarantee you, bro, nobody asked for that match. If anything, Vengeance Day feels like a filler show just to get to the next. Like a roadblock to get to the next, if anything. But that was NXT Tuesday. Not really a whole lot happened. Speaking of not a lot happening, we mentioned it in the beginning of the show. AEW Dynamite last night, bro. I did not watch last night's Dynamite. And by the looks of what I've seen, I didn't miss a fucking thing.
Well, let's read this card together. Let's read this card together.
Yeah.
We had
it to you as well.
We had MJF versus Kevin Knight opening the show. Yes, the AEW World Champion opening the show in a match.
Now, I will give credit where credit's due. This was really good stuff with Kevin Knight and MJF, though. I have to give credit on that.
Yeah, and Kevin Knight, he had a great performance, all things considered. They've been pushing him lately, and he's a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah. But, MJF wasn't losing.
Yeah, why is it in the opener? This is your world champion. Why is he not closing? And if you're wanting to push Kevin Knight as a main eventer, wouldn't it have been, I don't know, make more sense if this was the main event match, and you make sure that the audience they know that Kevin Knight is a big deal, and he can main event against the top guys for the world title.
Yeah, but what the fuck do I know, right? What the fuck do we know?
We had, listen to this, we had Jon Moxley against Hechicero. Yes, another Jon Moxley versus not Death Riders. Oh my god, Jon Moxley against Death Riders. God help us all. We had another Jon Moxley against Don Callis' family member.
Yeah.
Is this what we're doing with Moxley? He's gonna
moving on. The less I talk about the Don Callis family, the better. Who the fuck asked for Hechicero versus Jon Moxley? This is what we're doing. Death Riders and Don Callis family. Who the fuck asked for that?
You're having Jon Moxley, one of your biggest stars, the biggest star in the company right now. You're having him basically face off against the losers of the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
Hechicero, does he win matches on AEW television? No.
No, he's a loser.
Jon Moxley wins.
He's
of course,
pretty much the punching bag of the Don Callis family of all the members. If a bunch of dozen members, 18 members of the Don Callis family, 20 maybe.
What? El Clone, Rocky Romero, Trent ? Lance
Andrade.
Archer. They're basically the loser group of the Don Callis family, the punching bags.
Okada and Takeshita.
Yeah, who else in this group? What? Andrade, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Okada, Kyle Fletcher, so many members.
Oh my god.
They can build an entire 1 hour show around the Don Callis family.
You don't say.
My god. They can legitimately create a brand new AEW television show, and the roster can just be comprised of Don Callis family members.
We also got a segment with FTR and Tommaso Ciampa, and some people are like, "Oh, this brings Johnny Gargano to AEW." After seeing Tommaso Ciampa being TNT champion for not even 2 weeks, losing it right to Kyle Fletcher, and now with FTR, and I guarantee you, in a short time, Ciampa will be feuding with the Don Callis family. I guarantee it.
He's still chasing the TNT championship. He's still gonna get that match with Kyle Fletcher.
But will he win? Probably not.
Yeah, we had Dax Suffwood cutting a promo because it's exactly what I want to see.
Yeah, it's Stokely involved. Who cares?
We had the Brawling Birds.
But what if this brings Johnny Gargano to AEW?
No.
After what we've seen with Tommaso Ciampa with his first TNT title reign, not even 2 weeks, I'm sure Johnny watched this. Now, I don't know what Johnny Gargano wants to do, if he's going to be released or if he wants to leave. I don't know. But Ciampa, I had first high hopes from an AEW, but look where he's at now.
And he's going to be feuding with the Don Callis family for the next 18 months.
One fucking bit with Tommaso Ciampa. I don't.
He's going to be feuding with the Don Callis family for the next 18 months.
Yeah. I give it not long at all until Ciampa feuds with the Don Callis family. Watch. It's coming.
Speaking of the Don Callis family, we had another Don Callis family match for the Trios Championships. It was Kyle Fletcher, Okada, and Mark Davies against Jet Speed and Hangman. We have new AEW World Trios champions.
Fuck me.
Yay! More gold to the Don Callis family.
Yeah, who gives a shit? Moving on.
I am happy though for Mark Davies though. He's a talented dude. Like, I'm happy he's being used.
Yeah, but the Don Callis family, come on.
So now the Don Callis family, they now have the TNT title, international title, and now the trios titles.
What is with all these titles in this company, bro?
and if Takeshita beats Jon Moxley for the Continental title, then the Continental title will now be a part of the Don Callis.
Oh my God.
The only titles that are missing are the AEW Tag titles and the World title.
And I think they announced for Revolution, I think some 6-pack challenge. Let me look up this card for Revolution.
The trios title match. It's going to be the Don Callis family, yes. The TNT champion and the international champion are not defending their titles. Instead, they're defending the trios titles. It's going to be Mark Davies, Kyle Fletcher, and Okada against this Jet Speed and Mystico.
No Adam Page, though. Yay! Yay! I am so excited for that match. Said no one ever.
Yes, the TNT champion. You have Kyle Fletcher and Okada, who already have belts. They don't defend their own titles at Revolution. No, they're defending the trios titles. Oh, great. Here's an idea, Don Callis said. Here's an idea for Don Callis. See, maybe he can help Andrade win the AEW World Championship. Yeah.
We do get Andrade versus Bandito, though, at Revolution. Should be a good match, though.
Yeah. And then what else do we have on Dynamite? Well, we had the Brawling Birds. Yes, that's an actual name. We have Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor defeating the Inspiration.
Who? Jamie Hayter and Inspiration. Who?
Yeah. Yeah, we have Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of whom, you know, Jey Uso and the nauseating running it back Yeaton, the Inspiration, bro. Holy fuck.
They must have been watching Jey Uso segments lately. Yeah. I don't blame him. I don't blame him 1 bit.
The Inspiration, bro. You need any more reason why this show sucked this past week? There you have it, right there. The fucking
They are running it back.
Yeah, you thought running it back with Jey Uso was bad. Holy shit, this was 10 times worse.
I mean, they clearly are huge fans of Jey Uso. They clearly want to run it back.
But my God, this was so awful. This was more than bad. This was god-awful, bro.
Oh, my God.
God-awful. And the Inspiration, job to Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. Job to them.
Why was this on this show? I would love to know.
What did this do for either lady? What does this do for Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay and Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor? Can you answer this? What this accomplished for either woman out there last night?
0. This is the best we're coming up with for Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. This is the best we have for them. And running it back with the Inspiration.
Poor Jamie Hayter, bro. Poor Jamie Hayter.
Like, you couldn't have booked anything else on the show. You couldn't have booked anything else. Speaking of things that running it back.
Bad. And AEW, yeah, we're the best wrestle. The Inspiration don't even match AEW. We're the best wrestle. This was so cringe, bro. This was so.
Speaking of running it back, yeah.
Inspiration was the Iconics were bad in WWE, even in TNA and in WWE. But my goodness, like, they're running AEW. Honestly, this is worse than they're running WWE.
That's saying something.
That's how bad this thing was. Why even sign the Inspiration? Why even sign the Inspiration at that point? You have enough problems.
Don't say that,
AEW has enough
They're gonna run it back.
And they signed the Inspiration only to have them lose and be fucking jobbers, scrubs.
Don't say that, pal. Next week they're gonna run it back.
Oh my god.
Speaking
God
of
help
running
us
it back,
all if that happens.
Yeah. Speaking of running it back, we had the main event. The main event of this Dynamite was Thekla retaining against.
Oh, actually, before
Thunder
that,
Rosa.
we did get Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors.
Well, before we talk about that, we may as well save it for last. We had Thekla retaining against Thunder Rosa, and they're running back Thekla and Chris Statlander at Revolution in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Can we please end the Statlander and Thekla feud already?
Yeah, running it back indeed, yeah.
Please end the fucking feud already. How many times have we seen this with Statlander and Thekla? I love both ladies, but why are we getting this match again? And Statlander lost clean for that title to Thekla not long ago on Dynamite. Why are we getting another match with those two at the pay-per-view? Why? Why?
Yeah, Tony Cuddy loves his rematches, pal. Loves his rematches.
And Thekla's not losing here, too. So why even book the match? Awful. Fucking awful. And Thunder Rosa and Thekla. Did Thunder Rosa win?
Of course not. Of course not.
If you guess Thunder Rosa winning, you are incorrect.
Yeah.
Thekla retains. Predictable. And man, poor Thunder Rosa as well, man. You bring her back just to have her lose to Thekla.
Again, why was this on the show too? Like the same thing with Jamie Windsor and the Inspiration. Why was this on this show? Why was Jon Moxley facing Hechicero? Like why is this on Dynamite? This is your flagship show, and this is the best you could come up with.
And you should be building towards Revolution.
Yeah.
You should be building towards the pay-per-view in the middle of March. And this is the slop we got on Wednesday last night on TBS.
Embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing.
And then we got Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors. And we get the debut of David Finlay, who was supposed to go to NXT, but apparently it was rumors of him being lowballed, or he was not being offered a main roster contract on NXT. He was not going to be offered a contract to skip NXT, go to the main roster. But apparently AEW offered him more money, and that he went to AEW, and it was said that he was signed to the AEW since last week, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who, by the way, is an AEW shill, by the way, is Sappy Boy.
Yeah, Sappy. Apparently for this news, for what this could tell me, what this tells me is that, they were in talks, WWE and David Finlay. They were in talks even up until the last week. And the plan, David Finlay was offered a deal to come to NXT, start in NXT, and apparently, what this tells me, he had no problems. There wasn't any heat or anything. David Finlay was actually willing to start in NXT, but from what I'm hearing, what this tells me is that he was lowballed. Apparently, they did want him, but they didn't really offer him like a significant deal. Like, it doesn't have to be like main roster money or anything. Just, that deal was like maybe even below an NXT contract.
Yeah, but the money isn't everything, though. Yeah, it's more money in AEW, but it's not everything. What is David Finlay gonna do in AEW? He'll maybe hot for like 4 weeks, and then Tony will get bored of him very quickly and put him in the used toy chest. That's exactly what's gonna happen to David Finlay. I guarantee it. I give it 4 weeks.
Honestly, when I come from this mindset, I kind of don't blame David Finlay because if they really wanted him that badly, they would bring him in. But then you offer him a deal that kind of lowballs him. Like it doesn't have to be big money. Honestly, even if it wasn't more than AEW and it wasn't main roster money, like like, wasn't he just not thought of to have at least a decent offer? Like,
I don't think the deal could have been that bad. I don't think the deal could have been that bad, though. No.
Honestly, what this speaks to me, like, I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, but it speaks to me was that they didn't offer him, a deal that was appeasing to him.
I don't know. But it's like, what's so wrong with starting in NXT? Not everybody knows who David Finlay is. Yeah, he's the son
I don't think the issue was working NXT. I think he would have been fine with it. It's just the offer. The kind of offer he got.
I don't know.
I think that's the issue. I think that's the issue that he had more than anything. Not that he had an issue working NXT.
I mean, do I think the WWE wanted him? Yes, but maybe it wasn't the right time with the money offer. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what the real story is, but David Finlay did take the AEW money. I mean, maybe he's in AEW for a couple years and then he goes to WWE after a few years in AEW.
I kind of see where his mindset is. Maybe I could see where his mindset is. If they don't think that he's a big deal, then maybe he could start in AEW first. And if it all works out, and I hope it works out for him. If it all works out well for him, I don't think he'll be AEW World Champion, honestly.
Nah.
But if he's maybe at least in an upper mid card role and he gets over, maybe he wins an international title. Maybe the War Dogs, maybe they win the trios titles.
That's
and maybe 2-3 years down the road, and he's made a name for himself. Maybe WWE gives him a better offer than the one they gave him initially.
Yeah, I do think they did want him, but maybe it just wasn't the right time.
Maybe. I can kind of see where his mindset is.
Maybe it's a smart business approach because I don't think many people knew, even if he went to NXT, not many people know who David Finlay is. Yeah, he's the son of Fit Finlay, but I don't think many people knew who he was. Like, the hardcore fans know who he is, but do the casuals know him? Most probably not. Whereas if he goes to AEW, and this is probably a smart business move on his part if it is the case, maybe start in AEW, and then more people watch AEW like more people, like a lot of people watch WWE, a lot of people watch AEW, where he goes to AEW, he's there for a couple years, makes his money, which, I mean, I can't blame. I mean, if you want to, it's like, go ahead and make your money, though money's not everything, but make your money, do what you got to do in AEW, be there for at least a couple years, and then WWE gives you another look, and I do think they will. And then after a couple years in AEW, the WWE sees this and they'll bring him in, which they did want to bring the first time, but this time, the second time around, the money offers better, and he goes to NXT. I think this probably is for the best. Then that way, a couple years in AEW spent, he'll get more eyeballs on him. More people will know who he is. This is probably for the best.
I mean, just look at Stephanie Becker, for example. I mean, she did work a match in AEW against Mercedes.
She did, yes.
And that got more attention on her from WWE.
Will Hobbs, he was offered a tryout in 2019, 2020, and they didn't sign him. This was when Vince was in charge, but they could have signed Will Hobbs in 2019, 2020, but the WWE could have signed him then, but they didn't do it. Then he went to AEW in the pandemic in 2020, was there for 6 years, and now he's on WWE. He hasn't been used yet, but we'll get to him in a little bit. But he was in AEW. Now he's in WWE as Royce Keyes, former powerhouse from AEW. Blake Monroe when she was Mariah May in AEW.
Yeah.
Now she's killing in NXT as Blake Monroe. Ricky Starks, now Ricky Saints, All Ego Ethan Page. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got exposure being on
Brian
AEW
Pillman
television.
Jr., the Brian Pillman Jr., now Lexus King in NXT.
Yeah, they got exposure being on AEW television, and it got them a deal with WWE eventually.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the approach that David Finlay is taking.
Probably, and that probably a smart business move too. And he can take Tony's money, and Tony's willing to give him the money and give him his money. I mean, David Finlay, he'll take the money and probably just use Tony Khan for the money and get money. And then when the time's right, he'll jump ship. He'll have more eyeballs on him when he does jump ship the second time around. He'll be better off for it.
Yeah, he's probably taking the Blake Monroe approach, the Will Hobbs approach. Because
if he goes to NXT now, how many people know who David Finlay is outside of being the son of Fit Finlay?
Yeah.
That's something to think about. Maybe
Danhausen too. Danhausen was in AEW.
Yeah, Danhausen, yeah.
He was on AEW first, and then and he was at the fucking Chamber.
Yeah.
And now he's.
If Danhausen had signed in the early 2020s, would many people know who he is? Probably not.
No.
Or when Ring of Honor went under in the end of 2021 before Tony Khan bought the company, and Danhausen signed with NXT in like 2022, would people know who he is? Probably not.
No.
So, I mean, David Finlay chose AEW over NXT. I wish him nothing but the best. But I think, if anything, this is probably a business strategic move from David Finlay's behalf, I think.
Probably, yeah.
You know, I think he's probably playing it the smart approach here, if anything. Before he does eventually make the jump to WWE, which I think he will. Even though he's in AEW now, I think I could see within the next 2-3 years at least, I see him going to WWE from now.
And how old is he? Is David Finlay? He's what, 31?
Let me look it up. David Finlay age. Let me look it up. Finlay age. David Finlay, he is... let me look it up. He is 32 years old. David Finlay's 32 years old. So he's still very young.
Like he can jump ship when he's maybe 35.
Yeah, like mid to late 30s.
Yeah,
I think that's probably better.
Like 35, 36.
That's probably better that he jump shipped in a couple years from now. So I think, if anything, David Finlay is probably playing it smart here. And look, I mean, money's not everything, but you go ahead. But it's like you make your money. I mean, good for him. He's making his money. I just hope he does well. I don't have faith in Tony, but if anything, I think David Finlay's playing the smart business approach. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only is making his money, but I think it's going to get more attention on him because more people watch AEW than New Japan. He was in New Japan, but not everyone watches New Japan. So I think, if anything, this is a smart approach on David Finlay's behalf at the end of the day. And just because he went to AEW, I don't think him to WWE is now impossible. I think in a couple years from now, I could absolutely see.
And just look at Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page now is what?
Like 2028, 2029, I could see him. Before 2030, I could see him jump ship.
Yeah, like look at Ethan Page, for example. I don't want to make it seem like an age thing, but like Ethan Page now is what, 36?
Yes, I think so. I could be wrong. Let me look it up just so we're not misconstrued here or something like that. Let's see. His age, Ethan Page age. 36 years old. Yep, you're right. 36 years old.
Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, they're both 36.
Yeah.
If in 2 years from now, I think 2-3 years from now, like he'll be their age now. I mean, there's still time for him. Like he can join when he's that age. I mean, who knows? Maybe he can go to the main roster if that's what he wants.
And Ethan Page, when he joined AEW in early 2021, I think it was like 31 years old.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's the same age as David Finlay is now.
I think this is probably taking the Ethan Page route and the Ricky Saints route, of anything. Where you start in AEW, get more eyeballs on you, get more exposure so more people know who you are before you get ready to make the jump to WWE. I think it's all getting groomed to get ready for the big leagues like WWE, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say AEW is like a developmental stage, but almost getting people ready for the big leagues like WWE. Even like someone like Jade Cargill. You know, Ray Phoenix, Penta, guys like them. Blake Monroe, Royce Keyes, and stuff like that. And Royce Keyes recently jumped ship to WWE. He won't be the last either.
I mean, Anna Jay's deal is up soon. I think she's the next one to join. And she was on AEW for what, 6 years?
Yeah. I think 2019. Yeah, she's been there since day one, 2019.
Yeah.
Pretty much an AEW original. So I consider her be the next to jump ship. Whether she keeps the Anna Jay name, I don't know. But if it's the Anna Jay name or not, she'll get booked right in WWE. And she would fit like a glove on NXT. Especially if you're calling up Sol Ruka and JC Jane and Blake Monroe to the main roster. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing that David Finlay's going to AEW right now, that he chose AEW now over NXT. I don't think it's a bad move. If anything, this may be in fact, at the end of it, it may turn out to be a good thing than the bad thing.
Exactly.
If anything, I think he's playing it smart here. So I just hope he makes his money and he does well. So that's all I will say. And I wish David Finlay all the luck in the world. And he's too good to just be wasted. I've watched his work in New Japan. He's very good.
Like, at the very least, he could be maybe mid-card, upper mid-card. At the very least.
Maybe like international champion, TNT champion, national champion, maybe.
Maybe win the trios titles as well with the War Dogs.
Yeah, with Gabe Kidd and Clark Connors.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe if Jay White comes back, maybe you could do David Finlay versus Jay White.
I don't hate that at all. I'd love to see it. I think that'd be great. But
so overall, yeah, this episode of Dynamite, it's very skippable.
Yeah, if you missed Dynamite last night, you missed absolutely nothing. And Dynamite last week was not good either. 2 weeks in a row, Dynamite was not good. And before last night and last week's Dynamite was actually put on consistent shows. What happened?
Tony Khan happened. He can't resist.
Maybe someone else was booking it show better than him, and Tony Khan couldn't stand it. Because Tony's like, oh, I gotta have all the power. It's gonna be all about me. If a show is company's good or show's good, I gotta be the reason for it. And Tony Khan's gonna take all the credit, though he has nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Terrible. And we have the go home show for Revolution next Wednesday. Awful. And then the few other topics for the end of this episode, real quick. Mentioned Royce Keyes not long ago. Apparently, there's no plans in WWE now for Royce Keyes, which I find that very hard to believe. I find that very hard to believe here, folks. You can pull up the article right here. So this is according to bodyslam.net, a report from bodyslam.net. It says that WWE has been utilizing Royce Keyes in dark matches to give him additional, quote, in-ring reps while the creative team finalizes his specific direction. And it was said that this period of acclimation is standard for most incoming talent. And it was said that WWE had no plans for Royce Keyes. Again, I don't believe it. I think it's for now. I would say maybe he is finally on television with plans coming out of WrestleMania, I think. You probably say the same thing. I don't know how you feel about it. Maybe you think different than I do, but go ahead.
I mean, they've been promoting that interview that he did with Stephanie.
With Stephanie McMahon on What's Your Story podcast.
Yeah. No plans indeed, yeah. Yeah, they had no plans, but they're still promoting that interview.
And it also says the outlet noted that his absence from television is not a cause for concern, stating that 99% of talents who are hired go through that process. And as it says that the wait for the powerhouse to air on television may be nearing its end. And it says that WWE has reportedly already started filming vignettes for Royce Keyes that are expected to begin airing shortly. It says that while he was a free agent upon his debut, Friday Night SmackDown is still viewed as the most likely landing spot for him when he does make his debut on WWE television. As the industry moves forward toward WrestleMania 42 at Allegiant Stadium, timing of Keyes' official television debut will be critical. With vignettes on the horizon, he could potentially factor into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal or be saved until after WrestleMania to officially start his WWE run. I would say after Mania, if anything. I don't know how smart it is to have him in the Battle Royal, unless he wins it. So
I mean, they're on the build up to Mania. I don't know what you would do with him at WrestleMania.
Where does he fit on the WrestleMania card?
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that they even debuted him at the Rumble. You ask me, I'm kind of surprised that they did. So I thought they would hold out on him for at least a little while.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think they still have big plans for the guy. Maybe maybe they don't know what to do because, it's Mania season and he's not factored into WrestleMania, but I think they still have big plans for him. He will be just fine.
Yeah, those saying that, WWE has no plans for him, then why'd you bring him in? We came into WWE to have no plans for him. He looks like an idiot for leaving AEW, blah, blah, blah. I see all these people on social media saying that. I ignored these people, honestly.
Yeah, they should not be taken seriously. Not one time. They should never, ever be taken seriously.
I mean, he took a chance on himself in WWE. Yeah, the money is greater in AEW, but it's not everything. And Royce Keyes knows his worth.
He will be just fine.
He knows what he's doing. He's not stupid.
Yeah, he will be just fine.
Yeah.
He will be fine. I could see a debut for him maybe on the SmackDown after WrestleMania.
I think that's probably the place to do it. You have him in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I don't know how smart that is unless he wins it. Unless he wins the Battle Royal, I don't think it's a good idea for him to debut in the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I think the smarter and more logical approach is to have him debut after WrestleMania, on the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Where it's the start of their new season. They start fresh, clean slate. I think that's the way to do it. So we'll see what happens with Royce Keyes, but also Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, apparently it's being discussed for WrestleMania as well. I think this is according to WrestleVotes or BodySlam.net as well. Trick Williams and Sami Zayn could happen at WrestleMania. Now, they've been going at it in segments since the beginning of the year, though they could maybe do that. I don't know. Do you think they do this for WrestleMania? Or do you have Trick Williams do something else? Like maybe fight Carmelo Hayes for the United States title, which is something I would do. And you have Sami Zayn maybe involved with Jacob Fatu. Or maybe Sami Zayn doesn't make the card this year. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it.
And they've been holding out on that match. They haven't done it yet. I mean, there has to be a reason why they're holding out on it. Do they hold on it for WrestleMania?
Yeah, but should Trick Williams be in a U.S. title match instead of that, though?
I mean, for up to me, it would be Trick versus Mello.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I were to do it, I would book Trick Williams versus Mello Hayes, and you have Sami Zayn face Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I think that's the more logical route.
We might get a multi-man ladder match for the U.S. title at this year's Mania, which I don't think is the right way.
No. It needs to be Mello and Trick.
Oh, well, why is it not the right way? Isn't it exciting?
If it involves Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes, why would you book them in a ladder match when they could just be in a one-on-one match?
Oh, but there's no build with that, with Trick and Mello.
They have history. They have story.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, but the ladder match is exciting. Hasn't there been too many ladder matches lately, bro?
Yeah. And who's going to be in that ladder match? Apollo Crews? Come on.
Matt Cardona? Could be.
Maybe.
Oh, what about Ilya Dragunov?
Come on now. He just recovered from knee injury. Are we going to put him in a ladder match?
Ilya Dragunov, the Mad Dragon?
Come on. He just recovered from ACL injury. You want to put him in a ladder match? So come on now.
Or what if we add Solo Sikoa and Uncle Howdy? Or Tama Tonga or Shinsuke Nakamura?
Oh my God.
Or Kit Wilson?
Moving on.
Or what about your favorite? I want to see your facial reaction if The Miz is added to there.
This is yeah. Because what I want to see in ladder matches, what I want for my U.S. title ladder match at WrestleMania involves Kit Wilson and The Miz.
Yeah, two guys who were squashed by Obafemi the past several weeks on SmackDown, which I was not enjoying.
Moving on.
Yeah. Or what if we get Uncle Howdy versus Solo Sikoa at Mania, which I hope to God and pray to God we don't get. Please no. End that shit already. They had Uncle Howdy and Solo Sikoa one-on-one this past Friday on SmackDown. Uncle Howdy won. You think he'd get back the lantern? Did he?
Of course not.
You have the MFTs steal a lantern again, and they're still having this feud, bro. Still having this fucking feud. End it already.
They are building a feud, by the way. They're building this feud around the lantern.
Yeah, such riveting television, Bruce and Road Dogg.
This is what we're building a feud around. Bray Wyatt's lantern. Bray Wyatt is rolling in his grave watching this.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a Bruce Pritchard idea, because Bruce Pritchard hates Bray Wyatt.
Like, why are we building this feud? You have these two factions. They've been feuding since when? The summer? And you are building this feud around a fucking lantern.
Or if the Wyatt Six and the MFTs feuded since November, it's felt like a year.
Why is this feud still going on? Why is it still being built around a fucking physical?
And the tag titles still with the MFTs. They've done nothing with those titles, and apparently they're starting a tag title tournament for the number one contendership for the tag titles at WrestleMania, starting on SmackDown tomorrow. Yeah, good luck with that.
Awful. Please end it already. Which feud has lasted longer? MFTs versus Wyatt Six, or Don Callis family versus the Death Riders?
Dude, both are equally fucking bad. There's no difference.
What feud has dragged on longer?
Yeah. And MFTs, don't even get me started. Solo Sikoa is an entertaining guy, but he doesn't need the MFTs. He's better off on his own. Tama Tonga, actually a decent wrestler. He's actually been getting some shine lately on SmackDown. I got to give the guy credit.
Yeah.
And I did like what Nakamura said in a backstage segment. What was it, last Friday or something, or before that? It was a locker room segment with Nakamura and Tama Tonga, where Shinsuke Nakamura said, Tama Tonga, leave your MFTs in the forest.
Yeah.
Which I did laugh at. I did chuckle at. So Tama Tonga is actually, if you watch his work in New Japan, he can actually go as a singles wrestler. He's actually not bad at all. I just feel like he's being held down in the MFTs as Tama Tonga. So he could be something in the mid-card on his own.
I mean, him and Jeff Cobb.
Or JC Mateo. Yeah, JC Mateo, the same thing. What is he doing in the MFTs? Get him on his own, too.
Yeah.
Hikuleo, I could give two shits less about. A one-trick fucking pony. Oh, but he was good in New Japan as Hikuleo was Tama Tonga. I don't care what he did in New Japan. The guy is fucking useless. He's just there.
Yeah, who is he? He's basically the Samoan Omos. He just stands there. He stands there.
He's tall and he's just fucking there. It's plain and simple. That's all he is. Tonga Loa, utterly useless. AKA fucking Camacho. Yeah, Tonga Loa, useless. Useless. Why is he there? What purpose does he serve there?
Yeah, he's an entertainer.
Oh god. Oh, but he was Camacho with Unico?
Yeah, the fake Sin Cara.
Yeah. Tonga Loa, absolutely worthless. He adds nothing to the product or television. Nothing, just Tonga Loa. Not Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa. Tama Tonga is actually a lot better than Tonga Loa as Tama Tonga. But, yeah. Can we please end the Wyatt Six and MFTs feud already?
Can we move the Wyatt Six to something better?
Imagine
they're actually a good faction.
Imagine they have the end of this feud at WrestleMania. Please no. Imagine they do that shit. Imagine if this company actually has the fucking balls to do that.
Honestly, the worst thing, I actually think they may do it. I actually think this is actually going to last until WrestleMania.
God help us all if that happens. And
what else are they going to do? This feud has
lasted
so long.
If that happens at Mania, if the Wyatt Six and MFTs happen at WrestleMania, bro, you know what I'll be doing? Taking a fucking bathroom break. I'm not watching that match at Mania if that is the plan for WrestleMania.
I feel bad for the Wyatt Six. They're actually a good faction, and this is the best you can come up with. That's the best you can do with them. The feuding over a lantern against the MFTs.
The sooner they end this MFTs and Wyatt 6 shit, the better. And can we get the titles off the MFTs, please? Have they done anything on them?
No. Like you got who you got just look who you got in that SmackDown tag division. You have Motor City Machine Guns, you have Fraxium.
You have Los Garza as well. You have
No,
Los Garza as well. You have Los Garza, Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, some of the most talented tag teams on that SmackDown tag division, and you're doing nothing with them. Absolutely atrocious. We need to get those titles off the MFTs as well. They haven't done jack shit with them. And I feel like it's making the tag division on SmackDown worse the longer the MFTs hold them. And them the titles being involved in this Wyatt 6 MFT shit. Like the sooner we get the titles off MFTs, the better. And the sooner they end this MFTs and Wyatt 6 feud, the better. Because it's doing nothing for the SmackDown tag division. It's doing nothing for the tag team titles. And it's doing nothing for SmackDown. It's doing absolutely nothing for SmackDown. And I feel like it's dragging the show down. It's not making the show any good. In fact, I feel like it's making SmackDown worse. I feel like MFTs and Wyatt 6 are making SmackDown worse. With them, I think their feud is making the show that much worse. Just end the feud already, please. Moving on from that little rant about the MFTs and Wyatt 6. The last two topics real quick about with this episode, bro. The Hall of Fame. Apparently, Demolition, after all these years, yes, Demolition, Axe, and Smash, finally, after all these years, Demolition finally inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and they're inducted into this year's Hall of Fame, joining Stephanie McMahon and AJ Styles. If there's one word to describe this with Demolition in the Hall of Fame, deserved. Absolutely well-deserved of Demolition going in the Hall of Fame. One of the greatest tag teams of all time, and one of the greatest tag teams in the 80s. You talk about greatest tag teams of all time, Demolition, the Hart Foundation, and the Steiner Brothers, and the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk with Paul Ellering. You talk about Matt and Jeff Hardy of the Hardy Boys, the Brothers of Destruction of Kane and Undertaker, the New Age Outlaws, Degeneration X, etc., etc. The Usos is in there as well. FTR / The Revival, the New Day, and etc., etc. Talk about those greatest tag teams of all time. Demolition is with that camp as well. Absolutely no questions asked. Longest reigning tag champs back in the day of 600 days. I think it was as tag champions, Demolition, Axe, and Smash. And they should have gone in the Hall of Fame years ago, but again, Vince McMahon was petty towards them, and they weren't in the Hall of Fame several years ago. Now they finally are, and Vince is not there anymore, and finally Demolition's in the Hall of Fame. More than deserved for Demolition finally in the Hall of Fame where they belong. And I couldn't be more happier for Axe and Smash.
Yeah, it's well deserved.
Absolutely.
They belong in there. And they are one of the best tag teams ever. Yeah. I don't know why. Like, it's a fucking crime. They never were already in the Hall of Fame years ago. Like, they should have already been in there.
They were tag team champions for 600 days, and then the New Day broke their record in 2016, which it's not the New Day's fault, and they didn't deserve to break Demolition's record. It's not the New Day's fault, but Vince was so fucking petty towards Demolition. He had the New Day break Demolition's record in late 2016. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's Vince McMahon for you. He puts his ego above all else.
And he thinks, oh, New Day breaks Demolition's record. That means a New Day's better in Demolition. That doesn't mean that at all.
Yeah.
Just because New Day broke Demolition's record doesn't mean the New Day's better in Demolition. Demolition will always be one of the greatest tag team champions and tag teams of all time. And this is no knock on the New Day, but Demolition will always be one of the greatest of all time and one of the greatest tag champs of all time, no matter what Vince McMahon thought of Demolition. And if Vince was still there, Demolition would still not be in the Hall of Fame, but the old man Vince is not there anymore. Now Demolition is finally in the Hall of Fame where they belong. And words can't describe how happy I am for Axe and Smash.
Yeah. They deserve it.
Absolutely.
100%.
Now, who inducts them in the Hall of Fame?
Bret Hart, maybe?
I could see that. Bret Hart of the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
Could probably see that.
They did work at the Hart Foundation and Demolition. They've worked countless times back in the 80s.
They did, yes.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the other day about the 80s. I think Demolition are one of the last people from the 80s to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because I think everyone else has been inducted.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, the first ever inductee in the Hall of Fame. The Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage.
Yeah, Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff.
Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake Roberts, Rick Rude.
Yeah, Hart Foundation.
Yep, Hart Foundation. Bret the Hitman Hart.
Ricky
I think Bobby the Brain Heenan, I think, as well.
Yeah, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, Jesse Ventura.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yeah, Ricky Steamboat. Yeah, Savage. George Steele. George the Animal Steele.
Yep. George the Animal Steele, who would eat the turnbuckle back in the day.
Yeah. Honky Tonk Man.
Yep, one of the greatest Intercontinental champions in history until Gunther broke his record.
Yeah.
And so many others, Big John Studd, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Greg the Hammer Valentine. Demolition, some of the last people in the 80s to be inducted in the Hall of Fame. So I am so happy that I when I read this news, I was like, finally. I don't know why this wasn't done years ago. It should have. But I guess better late than never, right? But I'm very happy for Demolition, and it's more than deserved of them going in.
Most importantly, they get inducted while they're still alive.
Yes.
While they're still with us.
Some people go in the Hall of Fame when they're dead, like Eddie. Well, no one expected Eddie Guerrero to pass away in late 05, but Randy Savage, he died in 2011, then went in the Hall of Fame 4 years later, 2015. Savage could have won the Hall of Fame when he was still alive, when he was still living.
He should have.
Yeah. Big Boss Man, the same thing when he got inducted in 2016. And a bunch of Vader. Vader passed away before he went in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he was inducted when he was living still. He should have, but he died before he went in the Hall of Fame. But that was Vince McMahon for you.
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
Yeah, Paul Bearer. Yeah, he died a year before he went in the Hall of Fame.
Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect. Kurt Hennig was another one. Rocky Johnson, I think. Rock's father.
No. The Rock's father was still alive. I think he died in 2020. Yeah. I think I think you meant the High Chief, Peter Vivier.
Yes, Stu Hart, I think.
Yeah.
Stu Hart, one of the Hart family members.
Yeah, he was inducted in 2010.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart.
Yeah, in 2019.
Natalia's father, yeah. But yeah, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. Guys like them. But I think it's not others I can think of that passed the wrestlers that passed away before they went in the Hall of Fame, but the names we mentioned that passed before they went in the Hall of Fame, they should have won the Hall of Fame, honestly, when they were still alive. It's kind of shitty when they die and then they go in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't get to accept their induction, and they don't cut their promos.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't feel right at all. Oh, Yokozuna is another one. Yokozuna.
Well, he passed away in 2000 before they brought back the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but think they did it with Bruno Sammartino with the Hall of Fame before he passed away. So luckily they did it with Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. At least he got his induction while he was alive.
Very true. And the same thing with the Ultimate Warrior. Days after getting inducted, he passed away.
which is still eerie, even 12 years
2014,
later.
very, very sad. He got inducted in the Hall of Fame. Then the Raw to WrestleMania 30 in 2014. His words were so eerie. Said the Warrior lives forever. Then the next day he passed away. Very, very sad. But this is well deserved for Demolition for going in. I wonder who else gets inducted this year. So you got AJ Styles, you got Stephanie McMahon, you got Demolition. I wonder who else.
If we're talking posthumous inductees, because they induct people into the Hall of Fame who are sadly no longer with us. I mentioned all these guys. If we're talking, if we have at least one posthumous inductee, and we got before we talk about that, another team from the 80s that was also inducted last year, the natural disasters.
Yes, Earthquake and Typhoon.
Yeah, Earthquake. Yeah, he was a posthumous inductee last year.
Yes. Yep. It was natural disasters. Triple H and Michelle McCool inducted last year.
Yeah. If I can predict the next inductee this year, I would say Psycho Sid.
Yes, Psycho Sid. I could absolutely see that, and I would love to see that. I mean, former WWE champion, but I mean, he had history in the 90s with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart.
He main evented WrestleMania.
Yep, with The Undertaker, WrestleMania 13 in Chicago in 1997.
Yeah,
when Undertaker still had the streak.
Yeah, I could see him inducted.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. And he's also deserved of a Hall of Fame induction. And I think he died last year recently?
2 years ago.
2 years ago he passed away. I think even Matt Hardy mentioned not long ago on his podcast or something like that. Now, I don't think this man would ever get inducted. Owen Hart. Matt Hardy mentioned Owen Hart should go in the Hall of Fame. Not long ago, did Matt Hardy said that?
I mean, you should, but it's never going to happen.
The way how Owen Hart passed away in May 1999 when it was a stunt and a technicality went wrong and he dropped 50 feet to his death and he died. And then the WWE had to go to the next segment, but Owen Hart's wife is still very angry at WWE for what happened.
I mean, I don't blame her, if I'm honest. I don't actually blame her.
I know the WWE had a show to run, but they could have handled it better.
Do I think Owen deserves to be inducted, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No, I doubt it.
I
doubt it very much.
It's never going to happen. Although he will have a much better chance of being inducted than fucking Benoit.
Yeah, some people actually think Chris Benoit will go in the Hall of Fame. Oh, what about 20 years later, 07? Enough time will pass. He'll go in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely not.
That will never. That's even less likely than Owen.
Chris Benoit, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, but what he did to his family, but because of what he did to Nancy and Daniel in June 07 with the double murder-suicide incident, he'll never go in the Hall of Fame. He would have gone in the Hall of Fame had he not done what he did to Nancy and Daniel.
Yeah.
People like Bam Bam Bigelow or Miss Elizabeth in the Hall of Fame.
I think, Miss Elizabeth hasn't yet been inducted. I think she should soon.
Yeah, she was a big vital part in Randy Savage with Hulk and with Randy Savage, even with the Savage Hulk Hogan Mega Powers colliding WrestleMania 5. She was a big part of Randy Savage's big act in the 80s, even in the 90s, going into the 90s. She was a big part of that in Randy Savage's career. I don't know about I would say yes, she deserves the Hall of Fame, but I don't know if it would ever happen. Nancy Toffoloni, Nancy Benoit, or woman, when she was a manager in WCW as woman.
Yeah,
Chris Benoit doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame, but I don't know. But I would say probably Nancy Benoit, woman, deserves the Hall of Fame.
Honestly, I think she's much more deserving, but
because of what the Benoit tragedy, I don't know if it would ever happen. I don't think it's ever going to happen because Chris was the one who took her life, but she did nothing wrong. But
her and Daniel, they did nothing wrong. Unfortunately, though, if she gets inducted, then unfortunately, that's what people are going to think of that last week in June of 07.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say she does deserve it, though.
I mean, she does deserve it, but I don't think that's ever going to happen because it's unfortunately, associated. She's unfortunately associated with Benoit.
Yeah,
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
And so is Sandra Toffaloni, Nancy Benoit's sister, and David Benoit, Chris Benoit's oldest son. And David and Sandra are unfortunately blackballed because of what Chris did. And David and Sandra, especially David, did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I think David Benoit's training in wrestling, but it's hard for companies to bring him in and hire him because of what his father did. And facial appearance-wise, David looks just like his dad, Chris. And I honestly, I feel bad for David because he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Chris was the one who killed Nancy and Daniel. David wasn't even in Atlanta when the thing happened in 2007. And David is unfortunately blackballed because of what his dad did. And I can't help but feel bad for David, honestly. But
yeah, so in terms of Hall of Fame inductions, Benoit, that's never going to happen. Chris Benoit, he's never going to get inducted. Owen,
those who think, oh, Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame, those people are mental.
Yeah. I mean, Owen Hart, I would like to see it, but that's never going to happen. Nancy Benoit, I'd like to see it too, but that's never going to happen too.
What about Mickie James in the Hall of Fame?
She should.
Or Victoria. Victoria should be in there.
Maybe next year. Maybe we're going to get inducted in Saudi.
Maybe William Regal. He's not yet in the Hall of Fame. William Regal.
Maybe this year. Who knows?
I think he's another guy who should have went in years ago. And he's more than deserving of a Hall of Fame induction too. Batista should absolutely go in one of these years. He was supposed to go in 6 years ago, but then COVID happened around this time 6 years ago. Batista was supposed to go in. John Cena, I don't see this year, and I don't see next year. I see at least 2028 John Cena going in. Is what I feel. But not this year. So you got AJ Styles, you got Stephanie McMahon, Demolition. So not a bad lineup for this year's Hall of Fame. And speaking of which, and this will be the last topic for this episode, the Hall of Fame this year is taking place 1 hour after SmackDown this year's WrestleMania week, which I don't like. You have the SmackDown before Mania, 8 to 11, and within the next hour, 12 a.m. midnight on Saturday, April 18th this year at 12 a.m. midnight, the Hall of Fame. Why? Triple H was inducted last year's Hall of Fame, and you've seen guys like Booker T falling asleep because it was fucking late at night. I don't understand why you would do the Hall of Fame this year so late, just like last year. It's good that NXT Stand and Deliver was pulled from WrestleMania weekend and then moved from that to early April, which I think is a lot better off. NXT stands out a lot better off too. You couldn't have done the Hall of Fame on Saturday during the day.
Yeah.
Or better yet,
honestly,
maybe have it on Thursday, the
Saturday.
day before SmackDown.
I don't know why they would do it after SmackDown. Like they can't just do it on Thursday, for example.
Yeah, like a Thursday before the day before the SmackDown before Mania.
Yeah.
I think back in the day they used to do it on a Thursday going into a WrestleMania weekend.
Or on Saturday, the day before WrestleMania, when WrestleMania was just one night.
And now WrestleMania is 2 nights. Couldn't I have just had this during the day on Saturday? Or maybe on Thursday the day before the SmackDown before Mania? You couldn't have done that.
Why not just have the Hall of Fame on Thursday, the SmackDown on Friday, because it's 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 nights of WrestleMania, Saturday and Sunday.
Now you see why they moved NXT Stand and Deliver out of WrestleMania weekend to April 4th this year. Now you see why.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. This Hall of Fame an hour after SmackDown on the SmackDown before Mania. I don't like this at all. And you watch Triple H's induction in the Hall of Fame last year. People like Booker T and some others were falling asleep because it was so fucking late. You can't blame them for that. It's fucking late at night.
Yeah.
And these wrestlers have WrestleMania night one the next day to get ready for. Like, I honestly, I think this having the Hall of Fame right after SmackDown this year, an hour after SmackDown this year, is a mistake. I think it's a mistake. Honestly. I mean, imagine sitting there with Stephanie McMahon or AJ Styles making their Hall of Fame speech, and people are falling asleep to that. Imagine. I hate this move, man. I really do. Hall of Fame right after SmackDown. They should have thought better on this, but who am I, right? What do I know?
Yeah,
what do we know?
I gotta get out of here right now.
Actually, perfect timing end of this podcast. But that is all we got here, folks, for episode 15 and episode 16. Now, episode 16 is Thursday, week from today, Thursday, March 12th, around the same time, 9:30, 10 o'clock. But that is all we got for episode 15 today, folks. And hit the like on the video, subscribe to Furious Nation, hit the bell for all notifications. At 255 subscribers, love to hit 260 to 265 by the end of the month. So make sure you go subscribe to Furious Nation, hit the bell for all notifications, and hit the like on the video. Helps in the channel, helps in the YouTube algorithm as well. And follow me at FioriNick579 over on X, Adam Carl at Adam Carl 2005. All the other good stuff, social media links. Adam Carl, any other words before we get the hell out of here?
I'm looking forward to next week's episodes. I hope everybody
16,
has a good day.
The Sweet 16 episode next week on March 12th. There will be no Forbidden Podcast on Saturday next week. Trying to experiment the Forbidden Podcast on Thursdays. If it goes well, may move it to Thursdays permanently. But Thursday for next week, definitely for episode 16 for sure, because of ACW Aftershock in Poughkeepsie, New York, Saturday, March 14th. So, but we appreciate you guys joining us here for episode 15. Looking forward to Sweet 16 episode next week, next Thursday, week from today. And hope, and I'm sure we'll get a lot to talk about coming out of SmackDown tomorrow. So, finally on the road to WrestleMania, hopefully. But we'll see you next week for episode 16 of Forbidden Podcast here next week on YouTube on a week from Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We will see you next week for episode 16 next Thursday here on YouTube for the Forbidden Podcast. Peace.